Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. You know what this is. This is Wednesday, so this is what we call Way Out Wednesday. Way Out Wednesday. What is that exactly? Well, let me tell you, just in case it's your first time joining us, is where you right there. You become the boss. All you have to do is give us a call, 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. If you have anything that's going on in and around your community that you want to talk about, you want to discuss, you have any questions, you have any issues, situations between you and a loved one or a family member or whatever, and you want to be able to talk about it or have an outlet where you can actually voice your opinion and get some feedback, you can give us a call, 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. We love to have you. Give us a call. Let's talk about it. Let's bring this thing to the forefront. Something you've been wanting to deal with for a long time. You've been wanting to talk about it. You've been wanting to talk about it and talk about it with somebody that's going to listen and give you their open and honest opinion on it. That's what we're here to do. We're gonna give we ain't gonna dress it up. We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. We're gonna give you an open and honest opinion as to what we think is going on, what we think is happening. Whether you're right, whether you're wrong, we're not dealing with that. We're just dealing with the truth. And so, if you call in with an issue and you want to have somebody that's going to tell you what they think from their perspective and their life experiences, this is the place that you need to call. 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. Yes, the phone lines are open and we are waiting on you. Give us a call. If you and a friend had a big fallout, were you right? Were you wrong? Call us and let's talk about it. And we're gonna evaluate what exactly is going on. We're gonna evaluate the situation, and we're gonna tell you if you were right. We'll tell you you're right. If you're wrong, don't come here thin skinned because we're gonna tell you you're wrong. That's just how this thing go. We're gonna tell you what we think and what we hear from what you tell us. We're gonna tell you what we hear, what we see, and whether you are right or whether you're wrong. Again, don't come here with no thin skin because we're gonna tell you the truth. We ain't gonna tell you what you want to hear. So if you got a situation and you want somebody that's gonna tell you what you want to hear, you might not want to call us. You might not want to call us. If you got some situations going on, maybe you got some situations going on in your church, in your church family. Maybe the first lady acting up a little bit. Y'all know how it could be sometimes. Them first ladies could be something. Hey, them first ladies could be something. Absolutely. Give us a call. We'll talk about that too. Is she right? Is she wrong? Did you overstep yourself as a member? Sometimes people say, First Lady wrong. First Lady know she wrong. Well, hold on. You overstep yourself as a member. You overstep your boundaries. You ain't had no business going talking to them people like that or saying what you said to them people. You ain't had no right. You ain't had no right at all. But yet and still, you think you can because I've been going to this church for over 17 years. I've been going to this church over 17 years, and it's my place to tell them what I think. No, it ain't. You've been going to the church. You don't own the church. You've been going. See, that's what happened a lot of times. Y'all give me a call. Let's talk about this. What do you think about? And what about this person that think that and see churches are starting to open back up now, and I'm glad that they are. And truth of the matter, I miss my church, so I can't wait to get back in there and fellowship with my brothers and my sisters. But my thing is, what about this individual that go to church and they think that this one seat is their seat? They've been sitting here in this seat for 10 years. I've been sitting in this seat for 10 years. How do you dare come and sit in my... Don't sit right there. That's Sister Sarah chair. That's Sister Sarah. This is Sister Sarah been sitting right there. Every time she come, that's her. No, that ain't Sister Sarah chair. Sister Sarah ain't paid for that chair. All the other chairs in here, Sister Sarah can sit anywhere. Sister Sarah can just come and sit and right here and every Sunday, every Wednesday, just her seat. Pastor, you need to handle that. Well, now you know, we're all saints of God. We all love the Lord. And Sister Sarah, now truth of the matter, she been sitting there every Sunday. I come here, and I know when I look in that area right there, gonna be Sister Sarah's smiling face Well, Sister Sarah disruptive. Sister Sarah is disruptive because if somebody's sitting in that chair, Sister Sarah gonna act up, and Pastor, you're not doing nothing to fix that situation. You, the pastor, you supposed to handle that. And let Sister Sarah know that the God ain't gonna just bless her in that one seat right there. She can sit anywhere in this church, and if God got a blessing for her, God gonna bless her, regardless of what she said. God ain't sit in a situation where he have amnesia and he forget where she if she not sitting right there, he gonna forget who she is, where she is, or whatever. God's gonna bless her. Now let's talk about the first lady. Let's go back to the first lady. Oh my Lord. I've seen some first ladies. I've seen some first ladies in my time in my church going times. In my time of going to church. I seen some first ladies that acted up something terrible. I say something terrible. I had one first lady, truth of the matter. I ain't gonna say who you is. I'm not gonna put you out there like that. But I will tell you this. I've had some first ladies that didn't like me personally. I know how could somebody not like me, right? Hey, it happened. She didn't like me. She didn't care nothing about me. And she didn't tell me that out of her mouth that way, or just tell me, but I could tell by some of her actions. She didn't care too much for me. Now, what did I do to her to make her not like me? I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. Good morning, Badger. I didn't do a thing. Didn't do a thing.
Morning.
It's just that some people, sometimes two people just can't get along. Sometimes that's what it is. And it was just something about me, I guess it was, that just rubbed her wrong. Maybe I reminded her of somebody from her past. It happens like that sometimes. Did I do anything to try to fix the situation? I did the best I could. I made myself available to her and to the bishop. I made myself available, and when we went out of town, went to different places. I went on those went to different visits, different churches and stuff like that. I went. Me and my family, we went, but she just and somebody came to me later on and told me first lady didn't care for you, and I don't understand that, Raheem, because everybody like you, and I don't know why she just and to this day, and I saw the bishop, her husband, probably about 6 months ago. And we ended up in the store together, and he and I talk about going fishing and stuff like that. Cause he and I was real close. He actually had me opening up the services and stuff like that every Sunday. He and I had a real good relationship. We used to, sometime outside the church, we'll go fish and hang out and stuff like that, man. He had an issue at his house. He come and give me a ride. He help me out. I had an issue. I go with him. We work it out and stuff like that. We was friends outside of the church. Was friends outside of the church. But his wife, Badger, his wife didn't like me. Now, Badger, how can you figure that, man? Anybody not liking Raheem? I love everybody, Badger.
I
You
think
know
it's
that.
possible.
I said that should be impossible. But she didn't care nothing for me, Badger. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good.
Good deal, good deal. Man, we're gonna talk. This is way out Wednesday, so ain't no telling what we're gonna talk about today, Badger. You know how we do on Wednesdays. And I'm gonna ask you this on, Badger.
Uh
Cause
huh.
I'm gonna ask you this question. Um Badger, what is your favorite song?
My favorite song?
Yes, sir. What's your favorite? And I don't care whether it's hip
Oh my
hop,
god.
gospel, jazz, country, blues, whatever it is. What is your favorite song?
That's really hard because I've got a few I quite enjoy listening to.
Mm-hmm.
On Blueberry Hill. Um,
I found my Fats Domino. I had to say it a little bit to get what it was. I found my thrill.
I'm trying to. There's
Oh,
another one.
Blueberry
It's a
Hill.
river song. I forgot who sung that
Okay.
I like listening to. And then there's Man of Constant Sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's then there's the some Cherokee songs and some um Anishinaabe songs. indigenous people,
Okay.
nations.
Superman. You like Superman too, don't you?
I like Superman. Yeah,
Yeah. See, anything else
he
can
just
bring you?
came out with a new album actually.
Or did he really? You gotta send. You
Yeah.
gotta send me a couple. Send me your favorite song off that album. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it on the show one day.
Okay.
Send me your favorite song off his new album, and or I guess they don't say albums no more. That's dating me. Off his new CD or his new release. Or how I don't want to date myself. I'm only 21, so 21 and a half. So I don't want to date
I
myself.
still think they're albums, so
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what we used to.
yeah.
Albums and cassette. Basically,
Well, folks, we were talking about music and things of that nature. Raheen has froze apparently. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be able to hear me. But before we go too far into the music stuff and history of yesterday and today, the whole sitting thing in church. Sometimes you might not know what a person deals with, of why they want to sit in that same spot. Because I know some people that are on the spectrum that who go to church and stuff, and they go in the church and they have this routine, and you take them out that routine, and it'll mess them up. So don't always just assume or judge because of people like that, because you might not know what they're actually dealing with. It's a beautiful morning. Come on, Raheem, where are you at? And that's to me is a huge part of just keeping
Badger, you did
things
it, brother. You did it. You did it, brother.
awesome.
You
And
did
what were you saying about tape cassettes and all that?
No, what I wanted to do, and I love what you said, Badger, because I can actually still hear you even when I get frozen. And you were saying some people may be going through a situation, man, and they may be going through something, and they tie themselves to that seat. I didn't think about it that way, man. So that's good. I'm glad you brought that equation because
Oh yeah, when I went to church, dude, if I couldn't sit in the same spot I always sat in, I'd actually leave.
Wow,
'Cause
yeah.
I'd get stuck in a routine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you brought that, man, because that was good. I never thought about that because a lot of time I was talking about Sister Sarah and Sister Sarah. A lot of times they sit in that seat, man, and that's what it is. This is my seat. I've been sitting in the same seat for 15, 16 years, and now you're gonna come in here trying to take my chair, try to take my place, and yeah, and that could be a real issue because that's what she's used to, and it could be some other underlying reasons that the average person, you or I, would never understand why she's so connected to that particular seat. And so, yeah.
I'm not
Mhm.
average.
Well, I'm giving both of us the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? I'm giving both of us the benefit of the doubt in regards to that. But listen, what are some of the things you said something earlier, and I want to hop on this a little bit. And the phone lines are open, everybody. We got quite a few people that's tuning in. Give us a call 678-381-1973. And just to let you know, we don't have a topic on Wednesday. That's the only day we don't have a topic. And so we don't have a topic. So whatever you want to talk about, we'll open up the phone lines, open up the lines of conversation, and talk about what is on your heart. It's an open discussion day, if you will. But listen, Badger, what are some of the things that you can remember? Cassette tapes being one that comes to mind immediately to mind. Rolodexes and stuff like that. What are some of the things that come to mind that we used to use back in the day? We used to rely heavily on the phone book,
No.
and we don't use anymore.
Oh man, I remember 8-tracks.
Yeah, wow. There you go. Yeah.
And I'm not as old as you are.
Oh, just call me old, brother. Just go. Okay. You put a little gut punch in. I saw the little maneuver you did. You hit me with that gut punch. I felt it.
um, Now my grandma had a lot of 8 tracks and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. She was a huge Elvis fan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Man, I don't know who who made like crowds go crazier, Elvis Presley or Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Both of
Oh man.
both of them, yeah, both of them, and see the thing about it. A lot of people. It depends on who's listening to that right there, because some people will say, "Well, Michael Jackson obviously made," blah, blah, blah. But then again, you got to understand. Another group of people say Elvis Presley, because both of them had this power, man.
Oh
Both of them had
yeah.
power over their audience, and they both had different audiences. But
I I enjoyed some of Elvis's songs,
hmm
but I enjoyed the groove of
hmm
the Michael Jackson songs.
yeah, yeah. And see that, and that's what's unique right there, man. When you find somebody that can appreciate both styles, because they were similar but yet so different. They were similar and yet so different, because both of them had something special, man. Both of them had something that was very special. Um, and unfortunately, both of them got taken away. What some would say is a lot sooner than what they should have been taken away. But who are we to say that? Who are
And I
we to say?
think the first phone I ever remember using, it wasn't a rotary.
hmm It
So,
wasn't.
uh,
Man, we had rotary phones, brother.
well, my dad never liked phones, so he didn't. We didn't get a phone in the house until I was in school.
Okay. Okay.
So I was born in '86,
hmm
so it'd been early '90s.
hmm
I
Wow.
remember
Wow.
the beepers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hit me on the hip. Hit me on the hip. Hit me on the hip. That's what they used to tell you. Hit me on the hip.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I gotta call. And
And
you
then
get
you
that
got to
time
go through a payphone.
exactly. You have them dimes and quarters and nickels ready to feed that machine, because if you're gonna talk about, man, I had this girl, man. I was back in high school. I had this girl, man. We didn't have a phone. We didn't have a phone either, and so I had to go to the payphone and talk to her. And every night I go to the payphone, and I get all my little quarters, dimes, and nickels together, and I go to that payphone, and feeding the phone, because I'm talking to this girl. And if she listening, she's laughing right now. She know who she is. But uh, man, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, Badger. I used to talk to that girl, man. We used to talk hours on the phone until I ran out of coins. I go home, I walk home, and call it a night. We do it again the next night. She had her phone. Her family was well to do, man. Lived in a big, beautiful home, and so they, naturally they had their phone. She didn't have to worry about that. She just answered the call, and she didn't understand, man. That talking to her was costly. But that's how it was. And payphones, man. And let's talk about payphones, man, because people didn't, back in those days, until they came out with that big old suitcase bag phone. People didn't have phones, man. People didn't have phones at all.
Mhm.
And
Now,
so,
like, payphones are almost non-existent, and
yeah.
there's cell phone charging stations.
hmm Exactly. And a lot of times, you used to see people, and crazy as it might sound to the young generation today, man, people used to be waiting in a line for the phone.
Uh huh. I remember that.
Yeah. Hey man, how long you gonna be? How long you gonna be, man? Man, I gotta make this call, man. You gonna be a long time. I'm gonna be till I'm finished. I'm gonna be until I'm finished. But yeah, it's so many different things, man. Time has changed so much, though, Badger. And some not for the good, man. Some not for the good.
The last 20 years, man, I don't wrestle. WWE's went to trash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
See?
um, a lot of the like even the school program, man, I'd love to see something like Mr. Rogers come back on air.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, dude, it's like after he passed away and stuff like that, things just,
See, and one of the things about Mr. Rogers, that a lot of people, they saw what he did on the show and stuff like that, but they didn't see what he did outside of the show, man, in real life.
yeah,
Mr. Rogers
he
was a
was an
great guy, man.
activist, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He really was. He was a great guy, man. But people don't know that. Only thing they know is it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful
Mhm.
day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Won't
Yeah,
you be?
there's a YouTube video put out where people watch Mr. Rogers for the first time,
Wow. Wow.
and especially like some of the younger kids and stuff, and you could see him like crying and stuff because there's not really anything like that nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's missing. It's really missing, man, because and not only missing, but it's needed. It's needed.
Hmm.
I remember and changing the subject while staying the same, but I remember back, and I know you remember as well. Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh man,
I used to love it, man.
I miss Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, man, cartoons used to come. Man, Saturday mornings. I used to like the cartoons. Naturally, I like the cartoons, but I love the Schoolhouse Rocks, man. That was something, that it was educational, it was entertaining, and it kept you. It kept you.
Looney Tunes, even Looney Tunes have changed.
Yeah. Hmm. And the cartoons today, Badger. And you tell me whether you may feel a little different than I feel on this, but I think the cartoons and they were violent back in the day, but it's just today these cartoons are just so violent, man. It's they're just violent.
Well, that's a
Come
hmm.
on. I mean, you may not agree with me on it, and it's fine.
Well, no, I don't. It's not that I don't disagree, but there are
Hmm.
some people that would prefer the shows of today than the shows back then because back then it was a lot of people view some of them cartoons as as racial,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and those of us that watched them back then, we didn't view it that way.
Mhm. Didn't
Most
he
of the
say
one,
that.
yeah, never even saw it that way. We just thought it was funny and hilarious and comedy.
Mhm.
Because comedians they use what's in the present to make comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Mm.
I kind of feel bad for the comedians nowadays because I'm always worried they're going to end up getting taken to court and sued over some of the things they say.
Mhm.
But that's the
Uh,
point, though. Learning to laugh
mhm.
about hateful and just evil things.
Mhm.
You know, now I'll honestly have to say, you remember the
Uh-oh.
old Peter Pan?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
I will not let my kids watch that.
Why?
That is one of the few shows that I actually consider racial.
Wow.
Because if you ever go back and actually watch it and listen to what's being said
Mhm.
and some of the indigenous words that are used for that tribe
Mhm.
and the way they go about things and stuff like that, it's very hateful.
Wow.
There's
Wow.
even a word in there that's like you don't go around speaking that or
Mhm.
using that word. Um, so like I do think there are shows that are overboard.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I mean, Looney Tunes, it was politically incorrect all the time.
Mhm.
But to me, I learned more of how people interacted in the world by watching the old school Looney Tunes.
Mhm. What is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
It kind of gave me some preparation
Mhm.
because it gave me an idea of how some people viewed one another.
Mhm.
So even though it was comedy and laughing and things like that, some things were definitely obvious when it came to certain topics.
Mhm.
You know, because they would do things like military, civil war, politics, alien invasion, like
Mhm.
you name it. There was probably an episode on it at some
Mhm.
point.
Badger, do you remember the show what Jeffersons was an actual spinoff from that, but All in the Family? Remember that show?
Oh man, I haven't seen an episode of that in years.
A lot of people say, and see with that show, some people have issues with it, and some people tell me, Raheem, why would you even bring that up? Because I know that, and there was a lot of racial stuff that was going on. There, there was this going on. It's just as it was on the Jeffersons. It was like a spinoff from each other, and so both shows had their issues in regards to race, but they dealt with real issues, real life issues. Do you think that in this day and time, there's a place for shows like that?
I think to some degree, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, even oh my gosh, I watched an episode of uh, Bel Air,
Mm-hmm.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air,
Yes.
and actually cried.
Wow.
Um, they were. It was the episode where they were that heading down to Florida, and those cops pulled them over,
Mm.
and because they shouldn't have been driving that kind of fancy car.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it also, but it betrayed so much
Mm-hmm.
of like not only what people deal with to some degree, but also how living in two different types of lifestyles. You know, Will was used to that kind of interaction, and Carlton wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So they used a lot of examples of like even when they were mugged,
Mm-hmm.
um, and things like that. So it's I really wish they would do shows like that again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will because of council culture and everything else out there. Um,
Do you think it'll give a certain sense of awareness to some of the situations that's really going on? Because I'm listening to what you said, and you say that Will was he was actually used to that type because he came from Philadelphia. He came from a
right.
area of Philadelphia where that was average. It happened all the time. He saw it all the time. But Carlton came from such a sheltered, like father's a judge, and he came from he had this protection around him. And so he wasn't used to this thing. He lived in a world where he thought that everybody, Carlton had a pure heart.
Hmm.
He had a real pure heart about himself, which is not a bad thing. But at the same time, he kind of left himself exposed to issues like that. When things like that came about, he didn't know how to interact or deal with them. So which was better? Was Will better, or was Carlton a little bit better in his
I th-
innocence?
I think the way the show portrayed the different interactions actually
Hmm.
explained a lot, and why there are sometimes there's a disconnect
Hmm.
between the two. Here Will is getting to learn what it's like to be in Colton's environment.
Hmm.
And then there's situations where Colton was experienced what Will was used to.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think they did a really good like shows of combination and things like that. And sometimes I wonder if people even actually ever noticed that all that kind of stuff was in that show.
No, no. A lot of time people look at TV shows just for what it is, like entertainment value, and they don't look and they don't take out the value was actually being put on their plate. I One of the shows, and it's amazing you talking about the Fresh Prince of Bel Air because one of my favorite shows that they had, and I haven't seen, I actually haven't seen that episode right there. I'm gonna have to go back and find that episode, and if you can find it, please send it to me because I haven't seen that one.
I think it's in the first season.
Okay,
Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the first season, maybe like about halfway through.
okay, I'm gonna have to find it, and I want to see that one, man, because I haven't seen it. But oh, we got a call back.
Matter of fact,
Huh?
while you go to that phone call, see if I can find that clip.
Okay, good deal. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Bob.
Bob from Popsicle Little Pizza Shoot no Meat Alabama.
Buck Tussle. Buck Tussle.
Man, listen, we talking about and glad you joined us this morning, brother. We're talking about changes and how things are changing. And Badge and I was just talking about the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He told me about an episode that happened when they was traveling. I haven't seen that episode, man. It sounds like it's real powerful. And what I was about to tell him is one of the episodes that I love that brought tears to my eyes with the Fresh Prince of Bel Air was when Will's dad came to visit, and they supposed to go take a trip.
Oh man,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they supposed to go take a trip, and then at the last minute, because his dad always disappointed him, and Will has, even at the age that he was, he had such high expectation of him and his dad hanging out, going on the trip, going on the road trip together. But the dad pulled out and say, try to get the dad to tell Will that he wasn't gonna make it, and Will walked in the room. Wow, that episode right there, man. That episode right there done something. Thank you, Badger. I got it. Good deal. But
Well, I'm gonna send you the other part too.
okay. But that episode right there, man, that had to be a Fresh Prince, and I like the show. I like the show, but that episode right there was so powerful, man, because he was like, and at the end, he didn't call him, he didn't call him dad no more, because Will, he realized what happened, and he called him by his name, by his regular name, and that was so powerful. And then the interaction that Will had with Phil in the end, and Will just broke down, man. Why don't he want me? Why he don't want me? What did I do? Why he don't want? And so and to see that, I'm gonna tell you something. Both of y'all gentlemen, man, that touched me. It really did. That touched me. What's on your heart?
I think everybody was crying about that. But
Mm-hmm.
when you said that, I thought about two things. One, I'll make it short. I thought about when the first time my dad, because he was, Baptist minister, preacher, pastor, and he would go evangelize, and he'd go to work too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So between work and the things that he was doing in ministry kept him going a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time he went to one of my track meets, and he was talking noise in the stand.
Okay.
He said, told one lady, he said, that's your boy over there? Yeah. He said, he can't win.
Mm.
And I come out the last girl, and he said, get him, Donald.
Mm.
But it was something about just him being there.
Yeah,
So I can relate to Rio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Feeling like, no matter how old I am, Mom gonna be there.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when Dad showed up, even in school, or whatever the case may be, is that dad figure, that father figure, everybody. Even females, they want father figures.
Exactly.
The other thing that I thought about was how they would approach, I wouldn't say, we didn't even clearly see it as they bringing a light to racism,
Mm-hmm.
but when Archie Bunker and George Jefferson would be on the same show,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or interracial relationships when Tom and his wife
Mm-hmm.
would be there, and they would say certain words
Mm-hmm.
that we don't approve with, and really laugh about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Archie Bunker would call his son-in-law dumb Pollock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And George would come out and and say the N-word in the bed.
Mm-hmm. Sure will. Yeah. Sure will. Mm-hmm.
Or Fred Sanford.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Is you crazy?
And was it child abuse? He kept calling Lamont a dummy. What that child abuse, Donald? What that child abuse, man? You big dummy.
And then what his name was, Julio.
Yeah.
Julio would come in with that goat.
Yeah. Boy, look, they had some stuff going on, and see, they did, and a lot of time in this day and time, Badger, people would say that it was a lot of racism tied up in that, and it was, but they dealt with real life issues. They dealt with real life issues, real life situations. Now, They said we can't put that on TV because of people are so sensitive and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to deal with the real life issues of what you're dealing with, and let it be what it
Hey,
is.
Raheem,
Mm-hmm.
one other thing. Had you ever seen one or two times, other than that, a black person on the Andy Griffin show
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
or Beverly Hillbillies?
No.
We watch it like it was a routine.
Mm-hmm. I
We
think
watch
one
it like it
time,
was going to church.
and I could be wrong here, but I think at one time, Sammy Davis Jr. I don't know why I'm thinking Sammy Davis Jr. was on Beverly Hillbillies one time.
He
Somebody,
probably was.
yeah, I'm thinking one time I saw him on there, but that wasn't why we looked at it. We looked at it because we loved the show. We loved the entertainment value of the show. Um, and Badger, we didn't look at it from a racial standpoint. We didn't. I don't even know if we paid attention to that.
it see, I don't. I find that difficult
Mm-hmm.
because listening to people now, and how much it's talked and discussed now. Sometimes you can go back and look at some of these things, and it's like, wow, that's actually pretty messed up.
Yeah, yeah. And today you see it, but
You
during that
know,
time,
um,
mm-hmm,
but I don't think all of them are like that. I
mm-hmm,
think to me, some of it was how it was done.
mm-hmm,
Like, I don't. Could the directors of Mr. Ed and the Beverly Hillbillies and all that, could they have been racial people and whatnot, or had a reason why they weren't, black people or on the TV shows or whatnot? Sure.
mm-hmm,
What some of the messages, um, had their value.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, so it, to me, the biggest difference in the shows back then versus the shows now is it seems like there was more teaching involved,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
more scenarios, more, IRL stuff,
Mm-hmm,
like finding finding your core.
mm-hmm,
Like, I'll never forget the things I learned from the Talking Horse or Phil from Bel Air.
mm-hmm,
Um, you know, um, it's looking at the Beverly Hillbillies, and as I
mm-hmm,
got older, I realized how much, if you actually own the mineral rights for your property, how much money you could actually get if you found oil.
mm-hmm. Exactly. But see, a lot of times in this day and time, and Badger, I want to ask you this question: If I go out in my backyard, I got a little land. I go in my backyard, and for whatever reason I shoot or something like that, and like Beverly Hill build oil pop up out of the ground. Would the government try to come and take that from me? Try to take my property from me?
I would honestly ask you, um, go over your deed for
Mm-hmm.
your house and
Mm-hmm.
actually confirm if you have the mineral rights or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or
Because
what if I get me a metal detector and I go back there and the metal detector pick up something that's very valuable on my land? Again, that goes back to what you're saying, right?
no,
Mm-hmm.
finding a treasure, finding like rings and things like that would be considered your land. Now,
Mm-hmm.
finding gold,
Yeah.
silver,
Yeah. Yeah.
aluminum, those
Mm-hmm.
are minerals.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different story. I wouldn't tell nobody if you found that. Oil's
how much?
kind of hard to
How am I
get.
get my how am I get my money then, Badger? How am I get my money then? If I
Well,
won't
you
tell
can go
nobody?
sell it, but just don't tell them where you found it.
Yeah, I got you. There you go. Donald,
But
go ahead, Badger.
but that's the thing though. A lot of people that are buying homes and houses and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I think like 90% of them have no clue that
Mm-hmm.
all they're buying is the top of the property
Yeah.
and the home that's on it.
Wow.
Anything they find under the underground, and like sometimes I wonder if that even includes well water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could they actually tell you you can't build a well because you don't have the rights to it?
Wow. Donna, you was about to say something.
No, I was just talking to you where Badger at. You got water. We pay for the water bill. Everybody got a water bill.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know you got water in your yard?
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is dig deep enough. You gotta dig past the sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
And there's well water, good, clean, fresh, cold well water.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath. Right there at your feet. But you can't dig it because you bought a house.
Wow.
And that's all you got. And then if you really understand, if you really look at it, you don't even own that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's for you in the bank for 30 years or whatever, 15 years. And then you say, well, I got the deed to it. Dig in the ground and see if it don't come get you.
Mm-hmm. But it's my property. Man, I bought this. I got.
You can't.
What do you mean?
You move in some neighborhoods, and the how do they call that? They call it the dog. I can't even think of it. When a blank. There's the committee that's over the neighborhood.
Home association.
And you got home association.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to abide by the rules, or they're gonna put you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or your house.
Can't even. And see the thing about it, you can't even put a shed or nothing on your house unless you go through the home association.
You better not. You better not. I wish you could.
Mm-hmm.
Your grass is an inch too high. You're gonna have to pay a fine unless you cut it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then you paying good money for that house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they tell you, you got too many visitors tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Turn your music. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but your music is too loud. Turn your music down. Man, it's the middle of the day. Ain't nobody sleep.
It's a quiet neighborhood.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Or either turn your music down or change that song.
Change the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't play that around here.
Exactly.
You better get out of my yard. That's what you better do.
Better put your earplugs in your ear. But we're also talking, Donald, about things that we miss. And Badger bought so many good things, man. Badger said about the 8-track and different things like that, man. That we really miss. Rolodex and things like that, man. That's no longer there. The beeper, and hit me on the hip. The pager beeper. People call it different things. But what are some of the things, Donald, that we used to use? The phone booths we used to count on, but we don't even need them anymore.
Man, if yeah, like we had the pocket full of quarters, or nickels and dimes.
Exactly.
And it wouldn't take pennies.
No.
Did they ever have one that take pennies? No.
They ain't gonna take no penny.
Oh, and then look, I tell you what you talk about the rotary phone. When we was coming up, my dad used to, at a certain time you couldn't talk on the phone. At 10, I think it was something 9 or 10 o'clock, and he would put a lock on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he put the lock on 0. So long as you didn't have a 0 in the number, you could call it.
Lord, you gotta find that girl ain't got no 0.
Oh, you know what? The ice cream man and the milkman and the ice man used to pass by.
Yes, sir.
And bring you ice, good ice.
Yep. Sure did.
And the milkman would come by with that milk, fresh milk.
Right on your porch.
Right on the porch. And you always had the insurance man.
Mm-hmm.
That one white guy that was allowed to come in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You go to everybody's house, and you find out years later you ain't had no insurance. You've been paying for years.
Exactly. Ain't had nothing. You just be getting that man your money. What you mean ain't got no insurance? Hold on. Philip. Man,
now we got to have a barbecue.
Yeah.
To bury Uncle Jim.
Exactly. Now, what about it? And see, I might be dangerous, so y'all might not know about this here, man. But when somebody used to have issues with their rent, paying the rent, they used to have rent parties. These had rent parties,
Mm-hmm.
man. Everybody come together and they have a big party and they charge for the party. And they come together, all the money that they raise, they give it to the person that's having problems with their rent, so they can pay their rent and not be kicked out and evicted. What happened to the
Mm-hmm.
what happened to that kind of what happened to Badger? What happened to that kind of community? The community, the village, where people come together and help each other, man. That
Man,
if somebody gonna get kicked out today, they just kicked out. Go ahead, Badger.
see, I still grew up with that though.
Mm-hmm.
80s and 90s
Yeah.
area. Because of where I grew up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's out in the middle of nowhere for the most part. They didn't catch up to the cities.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there's probably still areas or communities that probably still do things like that. But I hope we kind of go back to that community
Yeah.
orientation.
Yes.
Um, but right now, a lot of people just seem so selfish and greedy that it's going to be a fight.
Yeah. A constant struggle because they don't care, man. People and for whatever reason, I don't know how we got here, but people don't care anymore, man. People just don't care for each other like they used to. It don't matter, if I got mine, you got to go out there and get yours. I got mine, and that attitude and that mentality right there, Donald, is killing our society as a whole. It's killing us, man.
When I think when when you killed, see, we used to, and some people may frown at this because they don't eat pork,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine, to each his own. But when we had a hog, we killed him in the driveway,
Mm-hmm.
and the neighbors would have a piece too,
Yeah.
or a cow,
Mm-hmm.
or a chicken,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever we had. Remember when the ladies, the next door neighbors would come and borrow back a cup of sugar,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or a cup of flour,
Mm-hmm.
or some milk?
Exactly.
It was, you go to the store, and Miss Lady down the street would send you to the store for her. Come
Mm-hmm.
here, little boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go get me a pack of Lucky Strikes.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Pound miles. Give me some pound miles.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And you was everybody's child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hey,
Yep.
come here, little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't you that Tucson boy? That's what
Mm-hmm.
they call us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, sit. Let me hear. Come here. Let me talk to you. They would talk to you
Mm-hmm.
as though they were your parents too.
Yep. Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
I never did understand how the word would get back home before you got there.
Mm-hmm.
And we had them party lines,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but they didn't call. They just found out, and then they tell, Miss Aaron said you did such and such. No, ma'am. Oh, she lying then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
You better not call an elder or older person a lie.
No.
When they said you did something, you might as well admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get on the telephone, and you can hear other folks' conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And see, and that's the thing you said it right there, man. Don't you might as well not say a word. Just don't say nothing. Because if they say you did it, and whatever you say, if it's not yes, ma'am, I did, I'm sorry, Badger, you got problems.
Man, that telekinetic ability back then, because
Yeah.
it made no sense. Because you're like 3 houses down, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't get on the phone, and you're sitting there watching them the whole time. They're still on the porch, and you walk in the house, and such said that you did this, and
Mm-hmm.
how in the
Yeah. Whoop whoop. Yeah. I can't get away. Look, I can't get away with nothing around here. We talked about something. We talked about something last night, and on real men being men, and I want to hear y'all viewpoint on this as well. We talked about how do you deal with someone. Badger, come to you first. how do you deal with someone that just refused to listen to your point? And y'all in a conversation, but they just refuse. You know, y'all talking every time you try to talk, they talk over you, and they just refuse to listen to your point. When your point could be one that you've experienced what they're going through, you've experienced the hurt that they're about to encounter, and you're trying to help them, but they just refuse to listen. Badger, how do you deal with that?
You know, trying to figure out how to approach this
Mm-hmm.
because that happens to me quite often, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it depends on how you're interacting with them. Because they might, if you're talking on the phone, they might just hang up on you, or if you're in a voice call, they might just mute you.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Um,
What if you face to face?
I weigh the situation because some people just don't want to hear anything outside of what they think.
Mm-hmm.
They're stubborn like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or if, even if you're trying to add, like, some, I've had it where people have treated me that way just by adding information
Mm.
to what they mentioned or said because something seemed like it was taken out of context and you're just trying to provide clarity, and they respond rudely or get upset or offended for some reason that you don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Um, so it's there's only a couple of times that I'll actually get angry about it, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the time I just let it slide off and go, well, since you're being hard headed, or I'll just be quiet. So if I don't make a comment about them being hard headed, I just be quiet about it and just acknowledge that some things they just aren't ready to hear yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. But if it's somebody, Badger, that's real close to you, and you know that they're going down a bad road, and I said last night what I would do in a situation like that. I said what I would do is just kind of take a step back and watch. So when they do fall, I'm able to rush in and grab their head so they don't bump the head on the ground or hit the head, and just let them be there for a second. What do you do in that situation, Badger? Because you don't want them to fall and bump their head and hurt themselves severely. So you stay close.
Well, I do my best to stay close. Sometimes that's why I still come around certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but one thing I've had to learn is you can't catch them all. Some of them
Yeah.
need to fall flat on their face
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes that's how they're going to learn it.
Yeah.
Because if you keep catching them, they may never learn it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. So what do you say to that, man? How do you deal with somebody that just refuse to listen to your point of view?
Stop talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain phrases that I repeat to
Mm-hmm.
people that don't listen.
Yeah.
I said, well, let's see how that work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite one right there. Let's see how that work out for you
Yes,
because
sir.
I bumped my head a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 57 and I was a hard head.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit it. I've tried it. You said I couldn't try it. I tried it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just about know how it's gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead out there and okay, you want to try to hang out with the boys. You want to run them girls. Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to do. Oh, you the life of the party, huh? Okay. Yeah, I see where that's going.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody can tell you nothing. You don't. It's all about you.
Yeah.
Me, my, and I mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I see where it's going. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Oh, you you spend everything you got.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't reserve. You don't plan for a rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see where? Let's use this for example. Everybody now it's hard for people to get to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
actually go to work
Yeah.
to somebody's job because the government is babysitting us
Yeah.
by giving you more than you would make on the job. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say something about that. That money is short money.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Quick money ain't good and it don't last.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people they going on to Disney World and 4 5 times since the pandemic. Not many people going. They don't have to worry about the pandemic, really per se. They can just enjoy themselves because not many people around them.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? All of that money you got not gonna last.
Not gonna
It's
last.
gonna rain in your. It's gonna rain in your life.
It gonna rain
And some
on
people
your
that
head.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna bump your head. And people that don't listen, they discredit everything that's positive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they ain't no use me talking to you. I used to
Mm-hmm.
get into a conversation with people, and not nobody else. I call myself, and I have to say this carefully because I call myself Christian, not the kind of Christian other folks talk about. Because there's a Christian that people talk about that's in a box
Yeah. Yeah.
that you can dictate to.
Mm-hmm.
That they function on one book
One book. Yes, sir.
or one teaching or one doctrine or one denomination. I ain't talking about that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a in the flame type religion thing. I
Yes.
don't know what that is really.
Mm-hmm.
That's what somebody told you about.
Come on.
But um uh people say, well, you don't need all of that stuff. Okay, go ahead. I stop talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people get into a conversation to prove how much you know.
Yeah.
I don't tell everything I know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I
Exactly.
act downright stupid,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I let a fool be a fool.
That a fool be a fool. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Is that me right here?
I told you what to see. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, man. It's Peabody Steven over here. What's up?
Hey, what's going on with you? You know, this is Way Out Wednesday, sister, and we covering some things today, and I want to hear from you. I'm gonna take it back toward the beginning. We talking about things that we used to have, and Badger brought a lot of great things to the equation. Things we used to use back in the day: roller decks, 8-track tape players, the telephone booths, and different things this telephone phone book. Things we used to use back in the day that we don't no longer have the need for. Toya, what are some of the things that we used to have back in the beef or the pager? Things we used to have back in the day that we don't use no more.
Oh gosh. A record player?
What's that?
A record player?
Oh yeah. Oh
Play
yeah.
records.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's so many different things, man, that we used to, we used to live in that. Man, listen, why we always had to put that
We used to have sense. Human. We used to
What?
have sense. But
Exactly.
something happened. We used to have sense back in the day, but we don't have sense no more in 2021.
Common sense ain't so common, huh?
Any kind of sense nowadays. It ain't even got to be common. Just some kind of sense nowadays. These old zombies in the areas walking around, boy. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go back to the 80s. Put me in a time machine like Michael Jackson Clock. Let me go back to the past. Because baby, this place today, it looks like that just ain't right. I'm just
it's a mess.
crazy.
Now, TV shows. How have TV shows changed for you?
Oh man, Lucy and Ricky didn't even know how they made the baby. They did sleep in bed. They barely kissed. They weren't gonna do nothing. They slept in separate beds, separate rooms. It was a lot going on back then. A lot not going on back then. Now you can see people inside. You don't need to play Operation no more because they ain't got no
Wow.
clothes on. You can see through everything they got on TV. You can see everything. You see the filming, the commercials, dancing around and panties. They would have never back in the day let 17 women dance around that TV screen in just panties or in just a bathing suit. No, a lot changed.
Now shows like Andy Griffith, Alice, the Jeffersons, and stuff like that. You know, they don't have those shows anymore. I used to love Alice. And everybody thought the name of the show was Mills Down. No, it was Alice. They everything happened in Mills.
Mills, kiss my bread.
Exactly. And there was her cuss word right there. There was her cuss word. There was a, and so it's so many things. And we was talking earlier about now, Toya, you might be too young for this. You might not know about this right here. But the Schoolhouse Rock doing the cartoons on Saturday. Man, I used to love Schoolhouse Rock.
Saturday morning, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tucson, what do you say about that? Schoolhouse Rock.
I'm just a bill. Oh, yes, I'm only a bill.
Oh Lord, Badger.
I'm
Badger, he's
sitting
singing
here on
Badger.
Capitol Hill.
Badger.
Well, I am off to the White House. Oh, I got
Badger.
caught up, man.
Badger.
Junction, what's your function?
Oh Lord, you got two of them singing now. Lord, my Jesus.
I mean,
Badger.
it's no better than
It's taught us government. Government and all kind of other stuff. And we didn't even know it.
No.
It was showing us, telling us some things, you know, they wanted us to learn them. But we used to watch that. You had that, Bugs Bunny, Road Runner, like Sibley Sam and Daffy Duck and all of that. And then you had the wrestling that came on.
Yeah.
You finalize it. This was your Saturday morning, and you finalize it about 11, 12 o'clock. Soul Train would come on. And then you have to go outside the rest of the day and play.
Wow.
That was your Saturday event. You wake up, if you had breakfast or not, whatever you had breakfast, then you were allowed to turn the TV on and we'll watch the cartoon.
Now see,
and then, yeah, man.
Donna, you said something there, man. You said something there, man. That don't happen in this day and time, man. And that is about the going outside and playing. People don't do that no more. People don't do that no more.
Oh no, we got videotapes, video games. Man, let me see. It's disturbing video games because I was at someone's house and they had some kids, a lot of kids, and they were playing Mortal Kombat. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Exactly.
And one thing about what we implant into our children with that is that you can kill somebody, kick their heart out their chest, and they get back up.
Reset the game and play all over again.
And they think that life is like that. All you have to do is reset it.
Wow.
And you can start all over again. But they never go outside and play. And we have these children that, you know, they unhealthy. Some of them.
Yeah.
And I like, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean any harm when I do that. But when I go to the store and our kids that's coming up in school, coming up and they at the fast food place or the grocery store or something like that, when my bill is $1 or $2 or $5.63, I don't give them the 63 cents or 62 cents. I give them that 2 penny or that 3 penny, and they sit at that cash register and they can't figure it out, but they can play that video game.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll unlock the password on your phone.
Exactly. And see, that's the thing right there, Badger. I'm going to go to Toya because Toya got something she want to take care of this morning. We want to make sure we actually give her. Oh, okay. Toya got something she want to say, but we actually talking in the back office here. But Badger, why kids this day and time don't go outside and play like they used to?
I think it's a mixture of things. I think there's some fear involved because it's harder to trust people now. There's less respect. It feels like. I do think there are some communities where things like that still happen. But people have gotten. It almost seems like people have gotten scared to interact anymore. And most of them do it over the internet because it's safer. And it's like I let my kids go outside and play and stuff, but one of the things I realized is like with the neighbors, there was an incident that happened where my oldest son is still learning, certain things and comprehension and stuff like that. And neighbor kids got annoyed with him. So instead of understanding that, it's going to take time and stuff, they rather not play with them anymore. So it's interesting how, a mixture of, acceptance of one another has went down quite a
lot. Wow, that's good. Toy, you want to you got something on your heart, sis?
Yeah, real quick, man. I need to say something. We have a lot of things that go on in life, man, and I've been going through this situation, man. And I'm just not going to call out no names, but people who know me know who this individual is. And I was wrong, right? Individual stole my money and staying for a place to stay. And at the end of the day, walked around and tried to make it seem like I destroyed their household and all these terrible things that I didn't do. And I need to say that I need to apologize publicly because I normally don't bash people the way I did. I went online and talked about the person, and I should have called names, but too late now. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that because I'm not like that. And I feel like when I do that, I'm matching her. I'm giving her some kind of response. You know what I'm saying? And I need to say, because I know that I ain't do nothing, honey, but try to help the individual and try to be a friend, and they were a snake and a devil. I need to apologize because I should have never, ever been carrying on and giving anybody that kind of energy, man. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do because the person stole my money. I wanted to go steal their stuff. I wanted to go do all these terrible things, and I did not because the Lord has really been working on me. And it's the Lord and not me. But I just must say, some kind of way, I just had to seek my vengeance. And that's what I did, going off on carrying on. And we really got to apologize because we're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And if we really trust in the Lord and we really trust that He's guiding our steps and He is involved with everything we do, and when someone wrongs us, we don't have to do anything because He got it. But I just feel the need for me to apologize for one, say that I forgive the person for two, and ask for forgiveness person for three. Because if I don't, there's a couple of things that happen when you deal with the Lord. And I don't want that to happen. Exactly. I don't want to see the wrath of what you've done. You know what I'm saying? The backslide. So I feel like in a way to, as a way of protection, you know what I'm saying? One of my prayers is, Lord, don't be getting nobody. I'm good. I can take it. That's my prayer today, man. Straight up. Like, my
That's
bad
good.
for even going on there, doing all that energy, man. Because I already know how God does. Straight up. And I know you cannot do his people, man. He'll take you up out of here. So the intervention that the Lord helps this person and restores this person, I don't even care about what people say about me. Who cares? I don't care. You can tell whatever I want to. You want to about me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on right now. She's still trying to, oh, she did this and it's live. I'm going to stop it right here and say, you know what? I forgive you. And I hope that you forgive me. And I pray that God doesn't send any kind of wrath or karma behind any of the things that we've done. I'm like Jesus right now. Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do, man. And let me just go ahead and put my apologies and my forgiveness out right now for even going down that aisle, carrying on with that individual instead of walking away and going on. Because the Lord, when the Lord's done, when the Lord finished with me, y'all, I'm going to shine on. And anybody that's been wrong, this is my prayer right now, man, that the Lord blesses y'all and cover y'all and does not let any harm or you lose anything in life, man, because you got so much more on our destiny, man. I just really have to say that in front of just everybody, and I'm going to go do a live.
Praise God. Mad respects us. Absolutely. I think this is that Rico? Rico, how you doing this morning?
Man, Grand Rising, how everybody doing this morning?
Hey, doing good, man. Your sister just that's powerful what your sister just did, man. What's on your heart?
I wish she wouldn't have did that. She's a warrior. And warriors fight evil. No, let me finish. Warriors fight evil. That is our job. And I feel to a certain extent, I put it to you this way. If we knew somebody was going to bomb the World Trade Center and they had been bombing buildings before, wouldn't we feel bad if we didn't say nothing and then we allowed them to go ahead and go through with that? It is our job to expose evil. Now, we seen this person enter the game carrying down people that brought her into this situation. Good people, sincere people. None of the stuff she accused them of has came to light yet. They still moving. She done said the organization was illegitimate and fraudulent. She done said everything about everybody on there. Man, listen, that had to happen. Because you can be saving somebody else from something worse. She may have somebody put in prison falsely later down the road. Guess what, Toya? I feel bad that I didn't tell you what she said. Maybe I could have saved you ahead of time. We got to start speaking up against evil. Yeah, we got conscience. We got conscience. And sometimes we get deceived and we embrace people that we shouldn't embrace. Sometimes we let them slide with suspicious activity that we shouldn't let them slide with. But when we accept that accountability and we see how good they are with it and how they would even play with God, not only would they come try to manipulate a scenario and always want to throw another race in it to deflect or minimize the importance of it, but to even use God as an asset to get your agendas across, your manipulation. No, man, you got to expose that. If you see the devil in the church, blast that devil, or the church gonna keep being tainted. So don't feel bad.
And see,
don't feel bad, because if I knew somebody was molesting children and I didn't say nothing, then they happen to molest mine or molest yours, then I'm gonna feel terrible, because I could have prevented that. I could have warned everybody. So I mean, don't feel bad. We are warriors. You are a warrior, and you always have said that your job is to fight evil. That's what it is to do. Maybe you can do it legally. Maybe you can do it another way. Maybe a little more professionally or whatever. But ain't nothing wrong with getting out of character, because there ain't no such thing as being in character when fighting savage beasts and sinister demons, witches, and warlocks. Woo! That's right. Ain't no gloves. Ain't no gloves.
And so, I think let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this, Rico, and I definitely appreciate everybody's stance on it. But I think where Toya was coming from, and the reason she did it, because And I understand what you're saying as well, but I believe in, and Toya could definitely speak for herself in this. I think the reason why she did it because she didn't want to carry that. She didn't want to.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
that.
yeah. She
That's
don't.
the conscience.
Yeah, she
That's
don't.
her conscience.
Yeah, she didn't
But
want to
and
carry
it's
that.
like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. Your conscience will bother you. I mean, some people don't like chastising their children, but their children that's violated. If your child molests somebody, it's gonna hurt you. You might have to turn that child in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna feel bad that you was the one that called and told. My son was the one did that drive-by and killed that child.
Mm-hmm.
Your conscience gonna bother you, but what's right is right.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody in the end might suffer worse from this person and their agendas. So we got to think about good and righteousness. Look, ain't no middle ground. We're gonna be absolutely for right, or we're gonna be absolutely for bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way That's the only way the war gonna be won. But I don't mean to hog this time. But let me answer that question that you had asked about why children don't go outside.
Mm-hmm.
That television is just like sugar. And when you put sugar in a child's mouth for the first time, you see the way they react.
Yeah.
Do the same thing with a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Sit them down when they're 10 months old and they don't want to go to sleep and they don't want their ball and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Turn on a PlayStation and watch what that TV does to them children. I've seen children go to sleep. Just like sometimes people had to drive to put children to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Some people play video games. Them children's eyes will latch onto that TV and you could tell they're addicted. So a lot of times the reason why children don't go outside because they have already been hypnotized by entertainment. The TV, now the video games. And it's hard to beat that.
What kind? Do you think Do you think there's some kind of programming that's instilled in behind the video game that pulled every? Because when people start playing them games, man, it's like it latches on to their psyche in some kind of way, and they can't put it down. And they'll be there for hours. They'll be there for hours watching it, playing it.
Well, I think it's just the endorphins in our brain that likes the things that we like, whether it's entertainment or fun or pleasure. It's the pleasure thing.
Mm-hmm. Somebody got some background noise. Somebody got a conversation going in the background. Mute your line, everybody. Mute your line for me.
Sorry,
Curtis. I think that's you, brother. Mute your line, Curtis. Okay, go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, it's a pleasure thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we like entertainment because it pleases us.
Mm-hmm.
It makes us laugh. It gives us a certain emotional pull.
Mm-hmm.
So these video games, they do the same thing. They excite us. They entertain us. They give us bright colors and sounds and music. And there's always something going on. So it really doesn't even have to be the TV. Is just the fact that that's what the brain demands.
Mm-hmm.
The brain demands you feed it something. And sometimes you need to feed it till you get distracted and fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with babies and stuff like that, that's how they get started at a young age. And they can't wait till they get big and they can play them. Like we couldn't wait to get big and go outside and play with the 2 kids that were older than us.
Mm-hmm.
We were too young at one time.
Yeah.
So now that's just their ambition. That's
Okay.
what they're exposed to. And the brain demands more of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Curtis, you there?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on with you, Captain? We're talking about a lot of things. That this is way out west, man. And right now, where we are, Curtis, we're talking about the children. And I remember, and specifically, I remember Christmas Day. Back in the day, Christmas Day, man, and we used to all get together, get our toys, and get whoever got bikes and stuff like that. Everybody would be outside, Curtis. Everybody, you couldn't find nobody inside the house, man. Christmas, it's cold, maybe snowing or whatever, but people came outside and they played. Man, last 10 years, man, you can't find nobody outside on Christmas Day, man. It's like ghost town. Curtis, what happened?
Well, I mean, human behavior happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, filmmakers like myself been telling us this was coming for years.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and you watch movies like 12 Monkeys, Total Recall. A lot of filmmakers been telling you for years that, you know, that the society was going to get to a place where the video game was going to be the most prevalent thing. I mean, robots, period, was going to be the
Mhm.
most prevalent thing in society. I mean, that's not the. You got to also account for the situation that we done had with all these killings and serial killers and things of that nature. People are scared, man. People scared to to put the kids out there in the streets. When I was in business school, um, they made us do a study, and I found out some things that was kind of alarming to me. That's why I turned my game off,
Mhm.
because they did trials on all of this stuff. So they knew that the video game was going to captivate the mind like that. They knew it. If they didn't know it, they wouldn't have invested the type of monies that they have invested in these video game networks.
Mhm.
Everybody playing Call of Duty right now. Well, originally, Call of Duty was basically, you know where that game came from, right?
No.
That's a special ops simulator, man. Call of Duty was created by the U.S. military. It's a special ops if I'm not mistaken, it's a special ops simulated game. It's to help guys who going through special forces training, black ops training, stuff like that. So as they upgrade the game, basically the U.S. military decided to sell it to somebody. They decided to sell a patent or let the patent go up, and a video gamer, got the patent. They own the rights to Call of Duty now. So
Mhm.
video games is something detrimental. I do want to plant a seed, though. Especially being as though y'all talking about staying in the house. I don't know if y'all got it on the news down there, but did y'all get on the news about the Caucasian American brother that was tased after trying to run over several police, after calling the police station and threatening to kill one of the police, after running the police car into the police station like he was on Terminator, and all he got was tased and arrested? Did y'all hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that one. No,
Well,
sir.
here's what's really gonna blow your mind, Raheem. You remember that case we had come across the network about the military boy up here in Anne Arundel County that had been brought up on the rape charges, statutory rape charges or something like that, and they locked him up and wouldn't give him no court date. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Same county, brother.
Wow.
That county, not no different, not one county over, not one county down, not one county above. Same county.
Mm.
So I just wanted to plant that seed out there. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't care about how the video game would socially enact people would cause the what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't care about the fact that it would make people socially, what's the word I'm looking for? Antisocial.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't care nothing about that, man. They didn't care nothing about that.
Wow.
Some people will tell you that the put was to create something to keep white kids from black kids.
Mm-hmm.
Some conspiracy theorists will say that to you.
Okay. Mute your line for me, Curtis. I want to go to Badger because Badger's actually a gamer. Badger, what's on your heart? Mute your line, Curtis.
Just in very interesting perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
The Call of Duty comment, there was an interesting interaction I had with a Vietnam vet who, is like, he was telling me a story of a mission he was doing over there. And I think it was Black Ops 2. And I told him to come here, or asked him to come here. I wanted to show him something that was on this video game. He's like, well, I'm not big on video games, but I'm like, no, you need to check this out. And It actually messed with him because it actually showed one of the missions that he was on, and he was actually able to describe to me everything that was coming up, and it was almost word for word what he experienced in those moments.
Wow.
He's like, the only way for them to have that much information is they had to have talked to someone that was a part of that mission. You know, so it made me wonder how many more of the campaign stories are actually based on, you know, special ops stuff. Because
Real life.
special ops,
And they
like
a lot
life
of feed right here.
Do what?
What'd you say, Curtis?
I said they got the live feed. You see what I'm saying? Because in order for that to happen, right, the U.S. military used to govern itself as far as commo on what they used to call a Kick 13, right? Right about 1997, 96, 97, the Kick 13 got phased out, and it went to I think it was called the Kick 57. The Kick 57 jumps 2,062.3 God doggone it, channels per second. The reason why they did that is because the U.S. military got tired of their commo being intercepted, so they put controlled cryptographic items into the radios so that the channels will jump. That many channels is 2,062, I think, 0.3 channels per second, so that it's harder to tap into the radio communications of a given soldier. So in order for them to do that, that means that now all of that is recorded because it's controlled cryptographics. It's all recorded at the Pentagon. It's all recorded by a higher authority than the authority you serving with on the ground at that time. So in order for them to do that, that means that they had to push inside the Pentagon. They had to play inside the Pentagon to then get those recordings so that then they can actually just do what we do, Raheem, as far as film and TV, is just loop the recordings in.
Got you. Let me pull a few more people into this conversation. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I think that goes to show you sometimes how they'll put information out there from the very beginning, and we'll just let it get by us, so we won't realize the implications. They said a long time ago when they first came up with those games that they had all kind of influence and I'm gonna say collaboration from the military. It's been, I mean, that's been established before the game came out. There's a new game on the way. The military is going to be collaborating with game makers and this and that, and it's going to help recruitment. This has been understood. It's just that now people only thought about the fun aspect of it. Oh man, I get an opportunity to shoot and kill people like the military people. Now that's the simple facade, the surface level thing that everybody looked at. But they didn't realize really the implication was that, man, it was going to be some real technical information on here, some real accurate information. They said they were using this as a tool to recruit potential soldiers. This is almost lifelike. Now, if you're giving somebody this kind of training, but you don't know how their mindset is, the adverse effect of that is that somebody might be getting this training and then going out and shoot up in school.
Exactly.
Because now they don't receive that energy the wrong way. Unlike Badger just said, somebody mess around and look at one of those scenes, they have a flashback. What they used to call it shell shock. They call it PTSD now. And it's funny. You know what's funny to me? I hear a lot of soldiers say they got PTSD, but they Call of Duty fanatics. Man, y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Because I look at Call of Duty and I say to myself, you know what? This is a little bit too much. Even worse than that is Grand Theft Auto. All that violence, no purpose. But they got PTSD. When they served in the military.
Some don't add up.
I mean, that's another confusing thing to me. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying something don't add up.
No, it don't add up, you know. But I mean, I think that's just people that's probably trying to get a check using PTSD as an excuse. But I think, as a society, we should understand that there's always going to be an opportunity for a negative aspect to come in. So now we talk about War of the Worlds. A long time ago, that radio broadcast proved to the upper echelon, the scholars and the scientists, psychiatrists and stuff, just what kind of effect media had on people. People went into a panic over a radio broadcast. They didn't look out of the sky and see something themselves. They could have went outside and looked with their very own eyes and be like, man, you know what? This is just a script. But they didn't. They were entranced by that radio. That was a new thing. Everybody was hooked on it, addicted to it, to the point where they wouldn't even go look for themselves, and they went into a panic. So somebody with money said, well, you know what? This media thing is huge. We can actually manipulate the way people think and how they move if we could keep them distracted from this by this entertainment. Then you had MK Ultra come in. See, people forget about MK Ultra. They just like to bring it up every now and then. But all this stuff that we've gone through, it applies all the time, so you can't forget. MK Ultra is a part of this programming, the television programming. It's a part of the video gaming industry. And the people that like gaming don't want to admit that it has an adverse effect. People that like gaming don't like to admit that some people that's into the gaming industry aren't fit to consume this type of information and go out and function normally. They go out and they want to do it themselves. I mean, we see it in the community. I mean, I think we really have to acknowledge the fact that media is a very dangerous tool, and the way you use it determines which way the society is going in. Exactly. That's the reason why you can't get children to go outside, because they just addicted to that entertainment. There's so much you can get from a computer and a TV now that you don't have to go outside. Yeah. It could consume your whole day.
But it's almost like it's almost like we got a call from the 816. I want to pull that call in as well as I want to go back to Toya. But it's to me it's almost like they got the audio books. They got audio books now where you can actually order a book, sit down, hit the play button, and it'll read the whole book for you. That's one thing, and people say that's advanced. Technology has advanced to the point where we could do that. But me, I'm gonna tell you something. I like the idea or the feel of having that book in my hand. It's just something about having that book in my hand where I could turn them pages.
Let me throw this one more thing now. I know people got to remember this. Maybe 3 years ago, do people remember where this Chinese guy went into what they call an internet cafe? It may have been about 7 years ago. Was gaming for 3 days and died. Yeah. He had a brain overload. I think he started having seizures or something. Somebody found him dead, and another guy died in his home from gaming too much. I think he had been gaming for 2 days straight. Wow. Hadn't eaten anything. So, I mean, that goes to show you the addictive quality. Remember what I said earlier about sugar? That really is what I've seen some people do. Grown men get up early in the morning, and they turn on that game like it's their job. Wow. And they don't get off till at night.
That's too much. 816 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Goddess.
Goddess, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning and good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, we're talking about our kids and our children and why they don't want to go outside and play. I remember, guys, I'm growing up, man. They used to have to make me come in the house. Now you got to force the kids to go outside. Something happened?
A lot of things happened. We had a big community meeting. A lot of things happened. When we was growing up, we used to want to go to the bookmobile. I don't know about y'all, but in our city, we had the bookmobile, a little thing that came around to the neighborhoods, and you can walk up to the bookmobile. That was the thing to do.
I ain't want to do that. I ain't want to do that in the
neighborhood pool.
I want to go to the little girl house, but I ain't want to do no bookmobile. But I understand what you said, though. Go ahead, sister. I'm being silly.
I'm one of them nerds type, but so the things that we want to do in our neighborhood, just because we got bored, just something to go do. You know what I'm saying? We also had enrichment. We had a lot of enrichment programs, crafts, music. You know, we had a lot of enrichment programs in my neighborhood. So they don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have those things anymore. And our kids, our parents, you know, they encouraged us to get outside and play and learn nature. And our kids have gotten away from nature. And keep in mind, the frequency level has changed on everything.
Wow.
And anything that's above a certain frequency is 432. And anything that's above 432 frequency causes chaos. It's a chaotic mental state. So when you're gaming, you're in the higher frequency level. It becomes more chaotic. And then you're on top of that with the violence. So you wonder why our kids react the way they react and what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not going to just say kids. I'm going to say the young, it be grown folks too.
It be grown folks too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing. I just pulled up on Amazon, and I'm going to go to Leonard. Good morning, Leonard. We're going to come to you in just 1 second, brother. Oh, I'm going to go to Toya. I'm coming to you, Leonard. Cause I'll go to Toya. But I just pulled up on Amazon. Man, they said to me this PlayStation 5 minimum is $1,000.
Yeah. And they'll get a PlayStation 5, but yet and still won't go get a job.
I'm like, man.
Somehow they'll figure out, or don't. I mean, I'm working right now with young kids. They don't even know how to cut grass. I mean, it's just the simplest thing. A weed eater or anything, you know. I mean, I literally have to sit down and show these kids how to do it. These young boys, young men, how to get out here and cut grass. And I put that to some of our Black mothers too, because we need to get on that roll and that ball.
Yeah.
We need to start our fathers, but you know, it goes both. I don't care who it is, whatever parents in the household, you know. But right now, we got a lot of kids that's growing up without fathers in the household too.
Exactly.
And I think the ones that have Black men in the ones who do have Black men in the households, they need to step out and grab some of these younger boys out here too that don't have fathers.
Exactly. Pay it forward, if you will. Let's go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart, sis? Leonard, come to you next.
Let me tell you something. We be barely just being bothered with our own kids, let alone grab some on both. I mean, it's very imperative, but we don't be thinking about that. But this is my thing. Are we sending the kids outside? No. Are we going outside? No. We raise our kids like that. They are a mirror reflection of who we are, period. Even if we don't, I didn't raise it like that. Well, how else they got like that? Who else they live with? They don't know how to cut grass. Why don't they know how to cut grass? And I had to be taught how to cut grass too, right? I came from Brooklyn. I didn't know about no grass. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be trained. My stepdad had to get up and teach me how to cut the grass, do this, do that, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm older now. I don't do that. But that's absolutely right. But at the end of the day, we need to remember whatever our kids got going on, they are a mirror reflection of ourselves. So if you look in the mirror and it's ugly, don't get mad at the mirror. Now, when it comes to gaming, what?
Did you say don't get mad at it?
No, you can't.
Go ahead.
But no, look, we got to really peep what's going on, right? And I'm just going to be honest in my own head, right? White people. There's always things they fighting for. We need to pay attention to them just because gaming was one of them. I remember when they were like, no, we can't do the game thing. It's addictive. You know, the power that it does to their minds. And, you know, it does these things. I remember that fight before the push, right? But we get so money hungry and greedy as people, right? We lose a little bit of humanity as we go on. There's a lot of these things that's around right now that was once regulated. Now it's deregulated because we want to make the money. We used to aim to be the best. We used to aim to, let's make cars that'll never stop. You know, we were inspired to do and create some of the things we wanted to do for the sake of humanity. But then we got in, you know what? From the business aspect, you're not going to make any more money. So you can't make cars run forever because then nobody's going to need a car. And then what are we going to do? So now this is all speculation. That's not even the true business ethics. That's just speculation because the fundamentals doesn't say that. But then gaming, well, we're going to deregulate, we're going to change this and lie about that and say it's okay. And they realize, and this is a reflection of it. And they do this with everything. Not keep saying it. Think about this. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system, but nothing ever happened. Corona was the biggest emergency. How come I ain't get no emergency broadcast system on TV when Corona came? They see a mind games with these frequencies. It's sonar warfare. And all of us are entailed and entangled in it. We all hear that beep, and we don't know what major waves they're sending behind that. And we don't know or fully educated about how sonar activity works with the brain. It can kill you with sonar and gaming, right? And we're not paying attention to this, but these are things that were once regulated that they deregulate along the way. They know that visual images are proven to send the same emotion as if it's real life. They know this. They have proof, but they do it anyway, and we accept it. And again, we know right now that we looking at TV, looking at these movies, and looking at all of this is a part of what influenced society, and we still fight with ourselves to watch the foolishness. Then stop to understand we got to help rectify the situation. You know what I mean? But no, we want to watch the movies and say, "Oh, I'm not a role model." We want to act in the movies and play the parts that we know are destructive from a visual aspect. We don't even want to look at the proof on why these things are happening because some of us might have something involved with it, right? The story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, look it up. Things we look at, things we watch, things we are told, things we hear have a major influence whether we hear them or not hear them, or see them in gaming or not see them. But the fact is that there's proof that things that we're talking about, not sending kids outside is killing them, and we still don't care about making the next best move to send our kids out. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, at the end of the day, man, if you look in the mirror and you ugly, don't get mad at the mirror.
You know, I'm gonna confiscate that one. I'm gonna give you the credit the first time, then after that it's mine. I'm gonna confiscate that one. If you get I'm gonna confiscate that one. Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Hey, we talking. You know, this is where I Wednesday. We don't have a topic, man, but we're talking about right now. The lack of children actually going outside. Leonard, you remember when we was young, man? We went outside and played. And like I said, but they had to come outside almost and beat me back in the house because I want to stay outside. I don't want to go back in the house, get nothing to drink. I drink out the water hose. Just go inside the house, give me some water, and keep playing. Because I ain't gonna break it. I ain't gonna go in the house. I ain't gonna go in the house because I go in the house. Y'all might tell me, okay, you in here, just stay on in here because you ain't going in and out. So I go around the corner, turn that water sink, turn the faucet on, drink out that nasty water hose, get me some water, and keep playing. Leonard, what happened to those days? And talk about the street light. You know, hey, don't let that street light catch you. It done caught me many times. But Leonard, why don't our children want to go outside and play these days?
Because there's a lot of interesting things to do in the house. And also, some kids, like say, for instance, I wasn't born and raised in the South, but I remember the South as a child coming on in the summers. It's horrible outside in the summers. So, you know, you have some kids deal with that. You have some kids now who have such a busy schedule these days. They're tired. They're just tired. A lot of these, especially young boys who are athletic, they play constantly. It's not about having fun. It's about trying to be a ball player when you grow up. So they work in these athletic these sports like jobs. You know, the commitment of the parents is like jobs. To have your children active. Mom, I live in a rural area for this very reason. It's because my kids can go outside. If you don't live in neighborhoods where you have other kids their age to play with, they won't go outside. You have to motivate a child to go outside because it's not, you know, we didn't have things that would keep us inside. That were very interesting. You have to think about it. I'm not sure about, you know, how many TVs you had in your house.
I think we might have had, back in the day, we may have had 2.
Do you had your own room?
No.
Exactly. Your daddy was probably trying to get out the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't look at it as if it's someone else's problem. If your child is like that, fix your child.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to do. You see your little child getting too fat, you need to feed them better. You need to run them out there just like you take that dog for a walk.
Mm-hmm. Now, Leonard, now hold on. Now we ain't gonna let you do that there. Now you say
Do
like,
what?
Look. You got some folk gonna say, man, you can't compare my children to no dog.
Call up to 678-381-1973. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
See, now you're inciting a fight.
But my son, for instance, we have that issue. My kids, of course, are not as outdoors as I was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just love being outside.
Yeah.
With my friends and things, but then I was born and raised up north.
Mm-hmm.
Now I learned in kids in the South just don't get up and go outside because it's too hot in the summers. So they chill a little bit until it gets cooler. That's different than me. I just run outside.
Exactly.
But my mother had rules. You couldn't go outside before 12 noon. So you go outside and you didn't have to come back in really until it got dark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
that was my thing because I wouldn't go in the house because I know I found out real quickly if I'm going back and forth in and out, the door gonna close on me. You're gonna stay in here. You ain't going back out. Stay in here.
And kids I think I prefer my independence more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the reasons I could get out and do what I wanted to do with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so we hung out, and you get your other friend that hang out, and that's what y'all do as kids. Now, my son does that. There's some little boys, there's sets of boys that they've grown up with, because one is much, much older than the other one.
Yeah. So
one grew up with one brother, and then they had a younger brother. Now my youngest son is growing up with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends really on the particular child.
Yeah, exactly.
But it ain't a whole kid problem. You understand? It's your child's problem.
And I could agree. I could agree with a piece of part of that. But my thing is this right here, man. I just don't understand how all the kids, man. You go outside, man, and ain't nobody out there. Ain't no kids playing outside.
What are they gonna do?
Play.
Play what? What's play?
I'm gonna tell you something. We used to come up with anything. We should come up with all kinds of things. We have a lot of toys and all that stuff, but we always came up with something to do outside.
And soon they on the neighbor's grass. They shot. Where they gonna play?
Go to the park.
Exactly. That's what kids.
What they got all these parks? Man, I tell you, here in Gwinnett County, I know they got a million parks here in Gwinnett County. I know they do.
Well, I go to parks in Gwinnett County, and I don't even live in Gwinnett County.
Yeah,
but they have a particular skate park that my son likes, so we take him up there. But you see, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get in my car and go take him to a skate park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because my little nephew used to love the skate parks. He used to love those.
And sometimes he takes his skateboard and goes outside.
The key in.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to realize what kids are doing, what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The little boys meet up at the subdivision where the rim is. But you know what? I have to drive him around there because I don't want him walking and cutting through the woods because I don't want him in other people's backyards.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You can't just rip and run through people's property and things like that anymore like you used to.
Like we exactly. Go ahead, Rico. Donald, coming to you next.
Just said something. He got to take them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these parents say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take them. They don't feel like going out there being bothered with it. So what they do, they buy that video game and throw it in that room and say, "Hey, he'll stay in that room and play all day. I know where he at.
Mm-hmm.
I know where she at." But this is the thing about it. See, I think we complicating this thing a little bit too much. I'm in such a hot part of Alabama. I've been down here since I was born, man, and we played all day. They used to try to tell us it was too early to go outside.
Yeah.
It didn't have nothing to do with no heat. It was torture sitting in that house.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have a PlayStation 5, much less a PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even have ColecoVision.
Yeah.
We didn't have Intellivision.
Mm-hmm.
If you was lucky, you might have had the Atari with the paddle. And you play that little tennis game or whatever, where the ball went back and forth between the two sticks. If you was lucky.
And that's what it sounded like, too.
If you sat in that house, the only thing you could look at was soap operas.
Exactly.
Young Generation, something like that. Or encyclopedias.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to have something to do, you had to go outside. And what it is, we didn't have the access. We didn't have the technology. We did not have the distractions. We did not have an air conditioning that was too comfortable for us to want to go outside. That fan in that window wasn't enough. So it didn't matter whether we stayed in the house or not, because once you moved into another room of the house, if you didn't have a fan in every room, ceiling fans went out back then, unless you were living in a more upscale community. But in the black neighborhood down here in the South, where I'm at, man, listen, we got out as early as possible.
Yep.
The only day we stayed in late was on cartoon day. And after 11 o'clock, until wrestling came out the door.
Yeah.
Screw American Bandstand, might stay and watch Soul Train. But I really didn't have time to watch nobody else dance. I'd rather be dancing myself. So, you know, it's a mixture. Toya hit it on the head. It's a mixture. The parents, these children can't have these video games if the parents don't buy them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These children can't go out and buy $1,000 PlayStations and the game. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you something. They're ripping people off so bad right now to the point where it used to be a point in time when you play the game, your skills unlock all the other things that you can get. Now you got to buy everything. So once you buy a game, you still got to go buy all the extra stuff to proceed further. So once you spend that first $59 on that game, you're probably going to spend another $800 later on down the road buying guns, buying camo outfits, buying cars and racing. I mean, they manipulating us. But Toya said something, and this is what we got to accept accountability on. And I say this all the time. Some people ain't gonna like this, but we got to be absolute. We are participating in a system called capitalism, and we love capitalism so much that if it don't make money, it don't make sense. But when it make money, it makes just enough sense. If it makes profits, then it's okay now. So we wonder why the morality is gone, why the community is gone, because we have not really kept capitalism in its proper place, and we couldn't, because it originated from doing immoral things. Human trafficking. Capitalism was fine. As long as you can make money off of it, well, let's treat people less than human. As a matter of fact, let's find a way through education and science to legitimize our racism, to legitimize us selling these people like, let's say that they they'll work no more than research animals. They ain't no different than cats. Because that's what's said by some of the scholars in this medical apartheid book I'm reading. And not just them, other people, other well-educated people that have always said we were less than, so they sold us. And the reason why it benefited them to say that we were less than and less intellectual because it made dollars. So we love capitalism, though. I like my money, too. But we got to accept and look at the real picture of how it has tainted society at the same time. See, it's a pro and a con to everything. I like the pros of capitalism, but I got to accept the cons of it. And the cons of it is all the things that we don't want to address. We don't want to admit that the only reason this society is upside down because it's profitable. Why don't they teach financial literacy in school? Because they need people to go to prison to make the money that they invested into the prison. They need to make profits off their investments. So they can't make money if everybody's successful. They can't make money if everybody got a Bill Gates brain.
Yep. Exactly.
So now we know the science behind video games and TV. Well, we'll let these video games go by. We'll just say that we'll put a parental guidance rating on them. NC-17. We'll say that the children the parents, but then the parents go in there and say, "Well, it's just a game." Yeah, but they doing gay stuff on the game and they raping prostitutes and they ain't even doing it for no reason. It's just for fun. Grand Theft Auto. It's just a game. Well, that's almost equivalent to taking a child to a Triple X movie. It's just a movie.
Wow. Good deal. Donald Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? We got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, but that's about the size of it. I mean, you know, I remember I grew up in the South, been down here for years. But I bet you one thing, you wasn't going to sit in the house with the door locked.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you that. You're not going to do that. Playing some game. And we had Nintendo and all that kind of Pac-Man and you know, but at a certain time, you was going outside. So what do you have to do outside? Okay. there wasn't a lot of paved roads, I guess, where I grew up at. So guess what? It wasn't our field. It was somebody in the neighborhood, some old man used to ride on. I remember his name was Mr. Watch this now. His name was Mr. Chachon. Chachon.
Chachon.
And he would ride on the gravel street on a mule, on a buggy, a sled cart or something with a mule tied to it, and that's how he would travel. But he had pecan orchard, well, a field with a gully, pecan trees, some muscadines, persimmons, and so what did we have to do with that? It was in the neighborhood. He knew it, but we thought that he didn't know. So we would play baseball. Did they have a baseball field? No, we made one.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't have a basketball court, we took Dad's lawnmower and go cut the field and play there till the ground would get dirty, and we'd get rid of the grass. We'd play football there in the field with no pads on,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd play like we had pads on. I'm serious. I'm talking about we would have our sports arena, and we would play neighborhood against neighborhood all the time in the South. Hot.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you one thing, you couldn't stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You go, if you would go in the house, you get you some water, and you go back outside. Or you drink from the hydrant or the faucet, however you want to call it. The best water, once it ran through the holes, it was cold.
Yeah, yeah.
So we made something happen. We would make go-karts.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd race down the street.
Yep.
We would do something that wasn't inside. But we let our children do stuff, and you think they're playing a video game, but they're on the internet watching stuff that'll make you shiver.
Yes, sir.
And then you wind up wondering, and I don't mean any harm by saying this. You see what happens on the video games, and you wonder why your kid come back, and later on, you see him experimenting with the little boy next door.
Wow.
Because you know everything, every commercial, every TV show, every movie, everything that you possibly can think of is even in our churches and our church events. You got a form of immorality.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't point anything out. You have a form of immorality in it. It just don't make no sense. So our kids are mimicking what they see in real life.
Exactly. And I just went over to the chat and to the chat part of this thing. I'll be all over the place. I don't look at the chat often. And I think Badger had something to say. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Sorry about that.
I've been waiting to talk for like 30 minutes.
Badger, don't do that now. Come on. Let's talk, Badger.
Talking about the kids and video game stuff. You know, and frequencies and sound and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's, to me, more reliant on the adults than the kids themselves. My kiddos would rather spend time outside than to do games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to look at the general public and things like that and see the different opinions of blaming video games and things like that. Which every time, you know, I hear things like that, I kind of laugh. Because to me, a lot of things boil down to sounds, frequencies, their environment. Because in certain environments, it's better, they would rather stay inside than go outside and play and interact with things because of the things that they see outside all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's, you know, me being off and on in the gaming world and online for many years, you know, I've come across younger people who I'd literally hear them say, I wish I could go outside. Oh, where was I? Oh, because of where they lived, they didn't feel safe to go outside because they were worried about getting shot or things of that nature because their community wasn't safe.
That's good. That's good. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I don't have a problem with advancement and progress or what have you. I've always wanted a virtual world from the beginning. I love everything about it. But one, people need to stop blaming everybody else for their poor parenting. Plain and simple as that. If you don't want your kid playing a video game, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's for adults, actually.
Let me ask you this question, and I know the answer from where I'm sitting, and I love what you just said. I'm gonna preface it by saying that, but what if you go to work, you come home one day, and there's a PlayStation in your house that you didn't buy. You go to your wife, baby, when did you buy that? I didn't buy that. What do you do at that point in that time? What do you do? Now, you didn't want your child to have this PlayStation. They got it. They sitting there. They playing it. What do you do?
I take it.
There you go.
I mean, it's not like it's a big deal. Matter of fact, if that convinced, go in your house and throw all your TVs out the window. Then might as well get rid of the darn radio too.
Did you say the radio too, brother?
Get rid, and y'all can sit around a campfire and sing songs to one another if that's what you would like to do. I'm so serious because it is about choice. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. You can't sit up here and holler about poor people and then y'all sitting around here with $600,000-$700,000 games. I don't want to hear the poor crap anymore because you're getting money for what you want to do with it. Now, the majority of the time, the people that own these games, these are for working people because you have to buy that game for your child. The majority of individuals own these games, at least a lot of them 40 years old. They're buying these games to keep them out the street. Grown men, don't done prison time. The way to stay out of trouble is they got a video game. The way to keep from running out here making babies, they got a video game because now the video game helps them stay at home. It helps them stay out of trouble. And they have something interesting to do. I don't go at people because of what interests them. You know what I'm saying? Because what you like, I may not like. A lot of people probably don't like doing what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. I don't expect people to. However, you have to understand, times have changed. It's not interesting to do certain things for certain kids because they have so much. You didn't have nothing. That's why you made something.
Exactly.
Because you didn't have nothing. You didn't have the money to go buy a rim and put up. No, you sit up there and you staple that clothes hanger or whatever to the telephone pole. You understand what I'm saying? Because you didn't have nothing.
Found a bicycle that was broke, took that rim off it and took the spikes out.
That's why you did those things, because you did not have it. So now you have to develop with the rest of the world and realize these are things that you have now. I remember when running water was a big deal. A sink and a bathtub that worked.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wait on nobody to go in the bathroom. Okay, so you got better as you grew, as you made money. Now some people got pools. Everybody ain't got a pool. So now you ain't even got to go down to the city pool. Do they still have a city pool? You know, I'm just asking, do they still have city pools? Exactly. So now it went from got to go to the city pool to what? Now I'm trying to look for a house with a pool. Then pools became more affordable, so they came up with the overground. You know how the people was getting the overground pools because you couldn't afford the money to dig the pool. So it just goes along with what's happening. We used to ride mopeds. Wait till I get a moped when I'm now it's gonna get a car, baby. I'm get a car now. I'm not getting no moped because it's more efficient for me to get a car now at 16 than to get a moped. You know, you got more kids going to work now as well. So people's lives are different. You got 16-year-old parents out here. What do you think they're thinking about and doing? They're thinking about a lot of the same thing that you're thinking about. Because now they're in your world. See, before, what they used to do, Rico, go play. You didn't sit around and talk with parents and grown people. You went and took your behind somewhere else while grown people was doing what they was doing. It's just now the two have come so close together because you ain't even as grown as your child no more. Because you and your child growing up now. You and your child growing. You still playing while your child still growing.
Well, we the video game age.
Exactly.
We the video game age. I mean, the things we complaining about, you know, and all the things we're complaining about are the things that we brought to the table.
Exactly.
Addiction to video games, like I said earlier. I didn't start off on a Nintendo, but by the time I hit high school, I had already had a Atari 5200, Atari 7800, and I actually realized myself, you know what? I ain't going outside as much as I used to.
Right.
And you know what? I let most of this day get by me, and I done been up all night playing pole position and break. You know, I mean, I actually see this. So now,
yes,
that holds himself accountable, I can say, well, okay, I am that person that got addicted to that game. That game was to me. I became addicted to Mike Tyson Punch Out.
There you go.
Mario Brothers. You know, Double Dribble. And right now to this day, that's why you got people playing games with their children and their grandchildren.
That's right.
You get that, you know, like I said, we did not have the technology. It was terror. It was torture sitting in the house in the summertime like that, man.
Yeah.
It would be so many people wanted to play baseball, we couldn't even form teams. We just played Indian ball. Every man for himself.
Exactly. You just went down to an open field and went to playing. You know,
every man for himself. If you didn't first base, second base, third base, you better fit in somewhere in between there and get you a ground ball before it hit two bounces up. And you were fighting for that pop fly. You might have 5 more people out there trying to get the same pop fly so you could get that back. It made us better. But the thing is that you said it. We made something happen because we did not have the convenience.
Yes.
Have the entertainment. We didn't have the access to the things that these children have nowadays. So we asked, why aren't they going outside? Why are they obese? Part of it is us. Have that stuff without us getting it for them. And we get it for them because we want to play it too.
Right. And that's one of the things that a doctor will tell you. When you bring obese children, you better take these kids to the gym or something, because they can't sit as long and consume as bad food, processed food, sitting in front of a TV because they out of your way. You know where they at, so it's okay for you. Know the room's so nice, it's ridiculous. Air conditioning, Rico, air conditioning, all the cold water you can get out the freezer with ice coming out the door, all with that.
With ice. I remember sitting up in front of the fan, boy, just trying to get you.
Well, like
it ain't cold enough, man. I need some. I think I'm gonna go outside and catch some wind. I'm gonna run and get cool, man. But feel the wind blowing on my face, man. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, we didn't have that access. So a lot of times the answers are easy. We just have to just look back at the experience.
I'm like that now.
Well, right now, like when I let my kids outside and play, you know, I can't even let them get near the road because someone's either texting on their phone or they're going like 10 miles over the speed limit. Like you can't. People just don't pay attention.
And see, like I said before, I live in a rural area because I wanted my kids to be able to go outside and play. So, you know, this real like rural Georgia. I live in Covington, Georgia. It's about 35 miles east of Atlanta. And it's growing very fast now.
Please leave your message
Since
for.
I moved here about 20 years ago. But I've seen kids come and go. And the kids have always played outside. But you have to realize, you have to have a decent neighborhood. You know, even back in the day, I thank God for what he has done for me personally, because I was in the street. I was running. I was just out. I was out, just outside doing whatever I wanted to do. You cannot allow, because now there are so many more predators out here. And I'm not just talking about sexual predators. I'm talking about people just looking for trouble. See, I'm not blaming these on, you're not going to sit here and blame these on these kids. You just cannot do it. Because there's grown-ups that don't teach morality to children anymore. They don't teach children about respecting other people's property anymore. And so, one, you have to be very careful and get to know one another. Like my son, his friends know, well, Mr. Jones, he don't like people in his house. Or if you go in his house, you know, I have to tell little kids around here, if you come in my house, you're going to have some shoes on your feet. You're not coming in my house without no shoes on your feet. You know, your mama, you come knock on my door 9 o'clock. No. Gray, he's not coming. Not coming outside to 12 o'clock because he has other things to do. So you have to teach kids priority. And then when you give them some recess, guess what? They enjoy that recess because they've been learning all day or doing something of that nature. Summertime was the unstructured time a lot of times. But now kids are they just don't have to go to school. You know, but we're not going to blame this on children. It's not children's fault. It's parents' fault.
Okay. Let's pull some more people, and I love that. And I definitely appreciate y'all keeping it going. Y'all know I got kicked out there for a second. And so I definitely appreciate that. Badger, what's in your heart before we go back to the phone lines?
You know, I agree with what Leonard's saying so much because, like, even like I watched it transform. Because I was like, where I grew up, you know, even on a highway, if, you know, people would pay attention. And as I got older, I watched how people cared less and less. If you weren't stepping out of the way, they were probably going to run you over because wherever they were going was more important than a child's life. And you know, I've actually tried to do research on what happened throughout the 90s and into the 2000s that has developed these adults into not caring.
Hedonism.
Say that again?
Hedonism.
What's that?
Carefree lifestyles void of religion, moral values, and more of a Luciferian lifestyle. That is what has happened. Pleasure. Say it for me, Rico. I ain't heard it in a minute.
You know what? I was waiting on.
Go ahead.
Well, pleasure, man. People want to be pleased. They like their leisure time.
Yes. People work for it. They make money for it. They do all sorts of things where now you wouldn't think about your children knowing you was having sex in your house. Do you understand?
Please leave your message for.
You didn't know about other people's business like that. Things were a lot more discreet. People were discreet, but when people have no shame, anything can happen.
Oh man, that's an understatement. And you know, you're gonna have to send me how that word's spelt, by the way, Leonard.
What word are you talking about?
The word that you used.
Luciferian lifestyle.
Hedonism.
You're gonna have to.
Hedonism.
Yeah, send me a text, and so that way I know how to spell it.
They even had an event.
And let them make up that word, man. Let them make up that word.
That's an actual event that has become very popular.
You know, heathen now. That's an old country word. Don't you know?
Yeah, they say heathen. You know, a heathen lifestyle.
Yeah,
it's a lot like hedonism, but hedonism is the professional name for showing your natural behind.
Oh look, if we got to be so professional about it, you know, we're gonna be professional, you know. And hold on for me.
You might offend somebody.
Exactly. Hold on
Well,
for a minute. Let me go to hold on back. I come right back to you, man. I got everybody on the phone line. I've been holding on for a while. I want to get them involved as well. Toy, you want to see what's on your heart?
You know, Leonard did it, and I say it all the time. It's the parents. We act like the kids run anything. It don't. We allow these regulations to be deregulated. We allow these things to go on. You know, and this is the fruits of our labor. You know, that's what we keep forgetting about, the fruits, man. You know, let's just think about this, right? This is just more than meets the eye, right? This is something, again, that's plain. We got to look at America. The device of America that we know that took from Indians and enslaved people to build it, right? We really think that these satellites and these waves and all these things they got up is just for our comfort? No, it does things. It makes us do things. They sat back and studied the human body. They picked human beings apart to see how we work and operate. So if we really stand here today, again, with all of this knowledge, knowing about brainwashing, psychology, our history, what it takes to help influence individuals, and still act like we don't understand that the very people that run us are not putting up a simulation to influence us to believe what they say, then it's kind of defeat the purpose. We just be talking just to be talking and really ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Exactly.
You know, this is what we, created. This is what we've allowed to be the fish and go upstream with. You know, our grandparents tried to tell us about the doohickeys, but we wanted it. So then what we did is we opened the door for it, but now because we've seen the era of our ways, ain't nobody got no time about what we saw. The history still goes on, and this is what I'm saying about setting precedent of Adams and Eve. We so busy getting trapped up in what they did, we ain't focusing on what we doing. And we set a whole new precedent every day with everything we allow. Anytime we negotiate the originality of life. And let us say another thing, if you're going to throw the games out, throw the TVs out, the phones out, all that. And we don't want to do that. You don't want to sit with no more AC.
Exactly.
You don't want to sit with no more phone. You don't want to sit with no more TV. So this is what we have. Embrace it. And the only thing we can do is stop the bleed.
Okay. I'm going to post this with Public Citizen. He posted this a second ago. Let me see here. He said everyone is chasing happiness when they should be chasing contentment. A materialistic mindset is just the norm these days. There go your word, Leonard. Hold on, somebody called in. Hedonism. Ain't that what I say? Hedonism is good for a few minutes, but it isn't a life plan. Let me see. Let me go to our. Let's go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Let me just say it like this: anything you plant is gonna grow. If you plant a seed, any kind of seed, whether it be a good seed, an apple tree, a bad seed, anything that you plant, I promise you, especially if you nurture it and dig dung around it and cultivate it, you're gonna get just what you plant. So you look at this society and see what kind of seeds we have planted and see what's growing up. See, I don't know about anybody else, but there was I don't know, people may say that it was because we were manipulated into the way that people would raise their children. But I say again, we formed our neighborhood. You couldn't come in there and just do what you wanted to. I mean, and maybe sometimes you say that there's so many predators that sure there is. There was predators when we grew up. But see, you couldn't go but so far. And they said, don't speaking to everybody. Don't be talking to everybody. Don't go in that neighborhood, or don't hang around it. You see that little boy right there? Go check their parents out. You start friending people. They say, who are their parents?
Mm-hmm.
Please leave your
People
message
was
for
involved in folks' lives. I'm not being busybodies and nosy folks. I'm talking about they cared for the children. We didn't throw kids out there. If there was a child that was kind of rowdy, they were still welcome at the house, but they would abide by the rules while they was at the house.
Hey,
You couldn't
Donald.
come in our house.
Hey, Donald, you remember the
Yes,
episode? You remember the episode of Good Times where Michael brought his little friend home, and they supposed to have been doing a math some kind of homework assignment, and the guy was unruly, put his feet up on the table and doing all kind of things. And James took him into their bedroom. So look here, you know, Florida, like James. James looked at us and said, "Nah, Florida, you know this boy had it coming. You know he had it coming." And James took him in there and wore him out. Wore him out, boy. I tell you that, you know, and like I said,
he straightened up, didn't he?
He straightened up, you know, and had to give him a pillow for him to sit down with because James wore him out just like that. So, but my thing is right here: if they're going to come into your household, you can't let anybody come into your household and disrupt the flow of your house. You can't allow them to do that. Go ahead.
I remember one guy. He still hangs out with me and him and my brother. They tight.
Mm-hmm.
They still fuss like brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But he was able to come to our house all the time, and we would go to church back and forth. And his name was John. My dad would say, "John, when you leave, lock the door."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He wasn't out. He stayed across the street. I'm not across the street, down the street, a few blocks down the street in the neighborhood. But John was the only person who was able to be left at the house when we was gone.
Yeah.
And he had to, because he wasn't churchy, but he would respect the rules of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So while we was going to church, we was going. That wasn't dad child, that was mom child. He was a little bright skinned little guy. And because he conducted himself and abided by the rules of the house, he didn't have to go to church.
Yeah.
He could stay at home while we were gone. Because they cared enough for him to kind of, you know, hey, since you're not churchy, you know, you may cuss and fuss, but you don't cuss and fuss at his house.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So he was able to, so that there were some people, some children that you kind of, hey, you come in, let me help you along a little bit, and because there's something in you, just like James did with the little boy.
Exactly. We got another caller from the 816 area code. 816. What's your name? Where you calling from?
K with the E.
K with the E. Hey, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh, just fine, and everyone else.
Hey, doing well. K, you've been listening for a minute. K, what's on your heart right now? About all the stuff we're talking about. What's on your heart, sis?
Well, I didn't miss out on what y'all was talking about. My mind is, this is way back Wednesday, right?
Way out Wednesday. See, you like Rico. You changing the name, see?
I'm way out Wednesday. Right there. That's a new one. I like that one. Way back Wednesday.
Way back Wednesday. Lord Jesus.
Wilding out Wednesday. It ought to be wilding out Wednesday.
Lord, see?
We know these people, and this baby mama just found out her baby daddy like boys.
Whoa.
Y'all talking about way back, while back. What you call it?
way out Wednesday.
That's a new one. Wild back Wednesday.
That's definitely way out Wednesday. For that to be the breaking news for Wednesday. I said, boy, look at here, y'all. That's a way out situation right there.
And is her baby daddy?
And Mama, why you keep laughing? I said because she got some males threatening her that if she tell on him, they gonna do something to her. Now they done turned into a whole big old FBI investigation because she definitely gonna turn it over to him.
Wow.
You should have just came home and said, "Hey, y'all like boys too now," and everybody would have been okay.
How many kids they got together?
They got 2, but he got about a whole ring of women. He got women in men. He got it going on.
No, you don't.
I don't know.
No,
why
you don't.
I don't know why he thought God wasn't gonna bring him out.
Exactly.
You violated.
I'm coming to you.
God right on out, and I was like, wow. I said, but that's what God will do for you. Like God knows everything. Nothing's a secret. That's why I don't worry about when people do things deceitfully and they doing it behind my back and not in my face. Because you got a problem when you do it in my face.
Wow. Rico,
that was just wild what Kay said, because I remember a while back, and I always have said this. I have seen guys that went and just had babies left and right, and people will wonder, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? And I said, you know what? That is the best way for you to put the image out there that you are the last person that will be liking a man. You laying up in too many women. You got too many children around here. And so, and that simple thought process, you know how people look at the image and they assume that assumption. That's how it works. People know how to manipulate that image and advertise it so much to the point of where they will do behavior like that. I mean, because you would wonder what would make a man just go and have children but not really care about the women he have children with. It's because he wants to be recognized as the man. But most guys want to be recognized as being the farthest thing away from being on the down low. So it's just, you know, it's crazy how their motivation have them acting, because she just pretty much explained what I have been saying in the past and other times. Sometimes when you see these men having children left and right, and they womanizers, they got a lot of women. They mistreat women because they really don't care about women. They just use them to promote the image that they need society to be.
Wow.
Then I'm gonna hit on what.
And that's just what it is. It's just a false image that you like women when you really don't. Like you literally don't. It's crazy. Exactly. I have a nephew that's like that, but I mean he's not like that. He's never like he tried to date women and he was like, I just can't deal with them. I don't want to date a woman. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, I don't want to date a woman, ain't he? I said, you know what? That's your preference. Do you? And that's what he do. He don't come around. He do him. He knows that we ain't okay with it, but that's his business. That's his life. And he was raised in the Bible. And I just tell him, read the word, because the word tells us. So nobody got to tell you when you're doing wrong. The word tell you. And that's why nothing is going right for you. And people be thinking, oh, they got the best life and they got this and they got that. They really don't. They have a whole bunch of health issues and everything. They don't have that abundantly blessed life. They don't have it.
Exactly. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, you know, for me, man, you know, I come from a city where being grimy is a part of the culture on every level, and you know, there are things that we can do as a community and as a household. But you know me, Ryan, I'm going to always stand firm to, I don't particularly care what you teach your children in your home. At some point, what you're teaching your children in your home must be reinforced in the public. We have not held accountable those who continuously teach lies to our children in the public, where that teaching is being given to tens of thousands of people. There's only but so much we can do. Now, I say that only because I say this. I taught my boys real African-American history. Okay? I didn't teach them the lies. I didn't teach them the lies about the Boston Massacre, or what we call the Boston Tea Party. I didn't teach them the lies of something as simple as where the zipper comes from. You know, I taught them the truth. So when my boys got to school and they really started taking these history classes, a lot of times I would have to go to the school because a teacher would say, well, he's disturbing my class. And then when I would ask why, they would give me this laundry list of things that would say, well, we're teaching this, but he's questioning. And I said, shouldn't he question? If you're not the truth, and a lot of times in our families and in our households, a lot of our community is trying their best to teach what truth they know. But if that truth is not reinforced in the public, eventually nature will tell the person, a given person, I have to do what the public does. And it's shameful to say. You know what I mean? Like I taught my boys, don't follow the trend, be a trendsetter. You know, even in the way that my oldest boy delivers his music, I'm proud because he doesn't just go with what is popular or what is obvious. He goes kind of against the grain. He uses what's popular and what's obvious to get his message out, but he goes against the grain when he speaks. But that is slim to none, and we have to accept that. So, although I hear and I appreciate and I understand and I find solace in everything that has been said, I'm not quick to just completely place the blame and or the responsibility on just us at home. Somewhere I read that it takes a village. It takes a community to raise good children. It takes a community. We can't do it by ourselves. It's impossible.
Absolutely.
Especially
wrap it up for me, because we run a long time, brother. Wrap it up for me.
All right, especially when you're in a country that has gone from an 8-hour cycle to a 24-hour cycle right up underneath our breath over the last 40 years. Especially, I'm coming to an end, Brian, especially when you take a country that has followed a Reaganomics model with what we call top trickle down economics. That right there, that economically we was never in the fold anyway.
Good deal.
They just lied.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that, but I just, you know what I mean? Like, let's paint a broader picture, because we know the picture we painting for us, we already got that.
Okay, good deal. Gotta keep it moving, because we got 7 minutes now. I want to touch some more people before we get out of here. Public Citizen wrote something here, and Rico, if you would, brother, put it back on the screen.
It says, I am a public school teacher and a critic of public schools, so I agree. Many teachers do not like to be challenged, and that is a problem.
And then it goes on to,
but at the same time, people don't realize how hard it is to teach in public schools.
And Rico, that could be very challenging. My wife is an educator, and I know firsthand the things that she's doing and that she had to do in order to teach the kids and to make sure that they get what they. A lot of times she would say to me, she said, Monday is a brand new challenge. And I said, what do you mean? Because what happened is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, she's pouring certain things into them, but over that weekend, it's erased away. And then Monday become a brand new challenge all over again. And so I understand what Public Citizen is saying, because it happens. You want to teach them the best. You want to do the best by them. But at the same time, when they go home over that weekend, a lot of this stuff that you poured into them or try to teach them, you have to reteach them all over again. Go ahead, Rico. Badger, come to you next.
You have to deal with the programming. You know, they may go, when they get out of school Friday, they may go to a whole lot of disorganization and chaos. Chaos may be normal to them. It may be normal to hear people yelling and screaming all the time, and there's always a fight going on. But when they got a little calmness,
yeah,
you know, a little more structure, you know, organization. So come Monday, you got to get them back into the role of things. You got to get them back to where they can sit down and be calm, because that excitement, that sensationalism. See, sometimes there's a lot of chaos involved. People don't understand the positive or the negative in it. They just understand the excitement. Exactly. And so now here it is, when you come to school, you can't stop talking. You got to keep being loud. Okay, now everybody in the classroom being quiet. They doing their work, but man, you thinking about this big fight that went on yesterday. You're playing, oh man, the adrenaline was pumping. Man, people don't understand how adrenaline works. Even when you are a spectator, you don't even have one on the inside of it. That's why you have so many people that imitate bullies, that imitate certain people. They see somebody out here fighting and acting a fool, then they feel like it's my turn to act a fool.
Absolutely, absolutely. Badger, what's on your heart, and how do you teach a person, Badger? How do you teach, especially at that age, how do you teach them to appreciate peace?
That, I don't know if you could really teach someone that. I think you have to live by example and hope that they pick it up and come to the realization themselves. Because some people have to work through so much of the programming that they've endured before they could really accept peace within oneself.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Goddess, what do you say to that, Goddess? Because like they said, a lot of times Monday through Friday, you're teaching them, you're pouring stuff into, and you get them in their classroom back again on a Monday, and it's been so disruptive, even to the point where sometimes, the truth of the matter, sometimes kids don't have anything to eat over the weekend. They don't have any food to eat, and so now they're dealing with missed meal cramps. They're hungry when they come to their classroom in the morning. They're hungry Monday morning. So you got so many different things that you have to deal with. Goddess, how does one deal with that?
It's called Title I, Title II money. When parents have to come in, come in and assist and do certain things, do food drives, clothes drives. The Title I and Title II money is government money that is used for our community. It comes to the school, so it's used for that particular school and the students that are less advantaged. So as parents, they used to have, remember, PTA was a big deal still. Well, parents need to come in and start doing little stuff to assist. It's very important. And the reason why I'm aware of some of those things, because I was one of those parents. Here in Kansas City School District, I ended up removing my child from the Kansas City School District because it became unaccredited once they let go of the Edison program. And here, the Edison program had paraprofessionals, but they were really good, except that they did not include certain things they didn't include the fact into their contract that they would have an overwhelming amount of students that did not speak English. So the grade curve made a difference in their scoring. So that was a major issue. But go back to what Kirk stated. It takes a village to raise a child. That's an old African proverb.
Exactly.
And that old African proverb was very key. But you also, in your curriculum that has been put out, I don't know if it was Georgia, it's one county right now that has removed certain things out of the curriculum. And not teaching about slavery and, different parts of the slavery mode due to white fragility. I don't know if you can believe that or not. They're removing certain things due to white fragility. And that's so we're getting more and more, and it's more than just starting with slavery, but we're still getting more and more erased out of the history books if we continue to allow them to do our curriculum.
Good deal. We got a minute, and I want to touch a few more people. We got a minute to go, so Everybody, give me your quick version of what we're about to say, because we got to get out of here. Toya with a T, quick version, sister. What's on your heart? I'm sorry, Goddess.
I'm good.
Toya with a T, what's on your heart?
Okay, yeah. I don't want to be rude to nobody stop, but no, great conversation, y'all. I ain't even gonna go there, man. Great conversation. I love y'all so much for having a great dialogue. Raheem, thank you for the platform, man.
Praise God.
Somebody is helping this, so call in, man. But thank y'all so much for just being open, having a dialogue, and letting God use y'all, man. So have a good day. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Absolutely love you too, sis. Donna Toussaint, what's on your heart? Quick version, brother. Gotta get on out of here. Gotta say it like country. We gotta get out of here.
Bye.
Wow. Leonard, quick version, brother. What's on your heart? I ain't even fooling with you.
Ain't nothing on my heart. Have a nice day.
God almighty, boy. Y'all look at y'all. Y'all must got a tag team thing going on around here. Well, Leonard, I know what's on your heart, though, Leonard. I can see it through your forehead, brother. What's going on at 3:00 today?
If you did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today.
Good deal. K with the E, what's on your heart? K with the E, can't find that mute button. Lord Jesus.
No.
Already know. She looking for it. She looking. There you go. What's on your heart, sis?
The way they gave food away and all that money they gave away, we ought not have a hungry kid. We ought not have a kid with no clothes on, no nice shoes on their feet, hair not done. Because these mamas ain't missed a beat. Their hair is done and their lashes is done and their nails is done and they buying cars and they registering them. So it should be food. They made it's all over, it's everywhere. If they ain't done nothing else in the United States, they made food available. They made it available everywhere, like everywhere. People knocking on people's doors.
Now, Kay, I say the quick version, Kay. I say the quick version, okay? You don't want 20 minutes.
I took Leonard's, Rico, and Toya's. Everybody that said they was cool, they didn't have nothing. I took theirs.
Oh, okay.
Now we all. We all.
And Donna said you took his too. Okay, I understand. Badger quick version.
Oh, yeah. Now we all good.
Okay. I'll just check. I just want to check see what's going on. Badger, what's on your heart? Quick version, brother.
I hope all finds their way to the light.
Good deal. Rico, quick version.
The village isn't safe anymore, but on the outside, we're looking in. We still can make some kind of efforts to make up for the village not being as safe as it used to be.
Exactly. K with the E. Pray us out, sis. You just found a mute button, so I know you know where it is. Now go ahead and pray us out.
Hey, finding that mute button because she was scrolling, looking at that the messages about that gay dude. She was too busy looking at the messages. She wanted to keep them in the business.
I told them don't even send it to my phone. Like my ears is enough to hear it, but I don't want that crap on my phone. It might violate my phone. Now we don't go into our prayer. Father God, we come to you with bowed heads and humble voice. We come to you with thanks. We thank you for another day, another broadcast. We thank you for participation. We thank you for the listeners, and we thank you for the host. Father God, if we had 10,000 times, we couldn't thank you enough. We thank you for the laughter, the conversation. We just thank you. Father God, we ask you to stay with each and every last one of us, our families, Father God. We ask you to go out into this world and just touch those hearts, Father God. Father God, you know who they are. We just ask you to just redirect their path, and not just redirect their path, but make sure that we're doing what you'll have us to do and say what you'll have us to say, and that we'll be a part of the village and make a difference in our village. In your sweet son, Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen.
Amen. It's been a great broadcast. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Y'all have a great day. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't it be a beautiful thing? Love you and love each other and take care of one another. Have a great day.